sold-out stadiums. Deafening noise. Hostile environments.
Look at this. This is just spectacular.
Electric atmospheres.
These people are losing their mind. This is beautiful.
Your favorite time of the year is back.
Welcome to the Terror Dome, baby.
Every snap.
Play action fake. Wells facing pressure, airing it out down the left sideline. It is caught. Dwayne Lofton into the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. 54 yards to the house.
Every hit.
Receives the snap, looks to the right under pressure, taken down yet again.
Every touchdown.
With a burst of speed, it's King in the open field. 35-40, 35-30, there he goes. He's gone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. A monstrous run.
This is college football on 3304 Sports. Now it's time for your pregame coverage. Let's head up to the booth for your 3304 Sports pregame report.
A little later than expected, but Virginia Tech and Purdue making their way onto the field as the fans file through the packed tunnels into Lane Stadium. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the soggy broadcast booth. I'm Nick Brown. To my left, Mr. Carter Hill. The Big Ten ACC Challenge moves to football, kind of. No longer in basketball, but Purdue waltzing into Lane Stadium for their first ever trip to Blacksburg, Virginia. Mr. Carter Hill, are you excited about tonight?
Yes, I'm very excited. ACC Big Ten Challenge. On the football side of things, first of back-to-back matchups for the Hokies against Big Ten foes. Purdue coming to town today, and then Rutgers, the Hokies make the trip to Piscataway, New Jersey next week to face off against the Scarlet Knights. It's going to be an interesting atmosphere today. You know, they held the gates closed for quite a bit of time, just opened them back up about 5 minutes ago. A 12:15 start, so about 15 minutes away. We'll see if we get an actual inner Sandman. Hopefully we do as a college football fan, but yes, I'm very excited and ready to roll.
The students are already packed into the stands, but the regular season ticket holders and non-students still working their way back into the crowd. Like you said, everybody held back for a while. Kickoff set for, looks like we were told 12:15, but right now it's looking like 12:22-ish is when we'll officially get kicked off. Both teams warming back up again. Of course, warm-ups and stretching was all stymied for a little bit due to the rain, but everybody's back in full force. Should be pretty decent weather since that rain cooled it off. Hopefully the rain or the sun stays away, otherwise it could get real steamy real quick and you would see a lot of cramps if a couple of players are not hydrated. But we're hydrated and we're ready to go. For Carter Hill, I'm Nick Brown. Tune in with us all game long as we get you ready for Virginia Tech and Purdue here in Lane Stadium.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
It's time to find out what's going on across the landscape of college football. For today's scoreboard update and the rest of your pregame coverage, we send you back up to the booth.
Welcome back to the broadcasting booth today for Virginia Tech and Purdue. I'm Nick Brown. To my left, Carter Hill. Like our intro said, let's get you updated around college football. Of course, it's a noon kickoff, so not much happening at the very moment. But there were a couple games earlier in the week, Thursday, Friday action. Always fun to see that. Of course, Ohio State, Kansas State kicking off at the moment. Also around noon, Colorado and Nebraska. Coach Coach Prime, not Coach Sanders.
Coach Prime, absolutely.
In his second game with the Buffaloes, looking to go 2-0, getting that ranked number next to their name. They shot out way up there after their big-time win over TCU. So, Mr. Hill, what are you looking forward to this week? And you can't say Texas and Alabama later today.
I'll tell you what, I'm a little sad it's at the same time. I'm excited for that JMU Virginia game in Charlottesville. I think that game has been so highly anticipated for quite a bit of time, and obviously the Cavaliers, their first home game since the tragedy that took place on campus last November, and so it should be an emotional day at Scott Stadium just down the road. But at the same time, JMU is a program that is very much on the up and up. Now in the Sun Belt, they're eligible for a bowl this year, cracked the top 25 last year. There's a reason why they can claim themselves as the top program currently in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and a prime example and a prime opportunity to showcase that today down the road in Charlottesville with the UVA team that they're going to line up against that, maybe isn't the strongest in 2023.
James Madison will then get their crack at Virginia Tech in just a few short years. I believe next year they're slated to take either that or the following year to take on each other. So it will be a good time there for the Commonwealth. Virginia Tech bringing in an out-of-conference Power 5 opponent, Purdue, with all of the turmoil going around throughout conference realignment and everything. These are two teams that are staying put in their respective conferences, and two engineering schools, two academic schools that pride themselves on their mathematics and engineering programs to do battle. Of course, Purdue has a pretty good entrance for themselves. They're kind of looked over for their pregame antics, but with the train leading the team out of the tunnel. Of course, Lane Stadium shakes when Emerson plays, but Purdue looked over as well with their little train as well. So, of course, like you said, two very proud institutions and two very proud fan bases. Should be a good game.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Virginia Tech, looking to get a 2-0 for the third time in 4 years. First time under Brent Pry, looking to defeat a non-conference Power 5 foe for the first time since 2017. How about that? West Virginia and Landover, Maryland. And then the first time, should they win today, it would be the first time they've taken a non-conference Power 5 foe down at Lane Stadium since the Tyrod Did It Mikey game in 2009 against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So this is an opportunity that Virginia Tech needs to take advantage of today. You have a Big Ten opponent, you have a Power 5 opponent in your house. The Hokies maybe didn't play their sharpest last week, but they played well enough to get the job done against Old Dominion. And now with a Big Ten foe coming to town, seeking their first victory under new head coach Ryan Walters, obviously they're going to be hungry after falling to Fresno State last week. So Virginia Tech has certainly got to take advantage and get the job done in Blacksburg today.
Last time these two teams met back in 2015 in West Lafayette, where Virginia Tech took that game 51-20 for a stomping win for Virginia Tech with backup quarterback Brendan Motley leading the way for Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, Purdue enters today with the new head coach Ryan Walters. And Ryan Walters and Brent Pry, both former defensive coordinators at previous Big Ten schools. Of course, Brent Pry for the Hokies was previously at Penn State as the DC there. And crossway Ryan Walters with one of those incredible defenses, led the incredible defenses at Illinois. Did a marvelous job coaching the Fighting Illini on the defensive side of the football. He gets his crack at head coach. Lost in his first game. But the last time these two guys met up, 2 years ago.
Yeah, Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, Penn State, Illinois. Goes to 9 overtimes. I mean, that's defensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator there, because once you get to 3, you're going for 2 the whole time. So
it wasn't even a high-scoring game either.
I want to say it was 17-15 or something like that. So, yeah, these two sides and these two head coaches are familiar with each other. Obviously, they both coached in the Big Ten. Illinois, Penn State, they face off, I want to say, every year in the Big Ten East. So, yeah, it's exciting. There's some familiarity. Ryan Walters looking for victory number 1 as a head coach, and Brent Pry looking to turn the page and continue to take a step forward as Virginia Tech's head football coach.
Would certainly be a big-time win for Virginia Tech to pull off for Brent Pry, and it would also be equally as big, maybe even a little bigger for Ryan Walters to get that first W under his belt as the head man of the Boilermakers. It's the 1-0 Hokies and the 0-1 Purdue Boilermakers. When we come back, we'll have kickoff starters on the other side of this break. You're listening to 3304 Sports Edition of College Football.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
The 2023 Virginia Tech football season is loaded with exciting matchups every weekend on 3304 Sports. Non-conference opponents like Purdue, Rutgers, and Marshall won't disappoint. In ACC play, the Hokies host Pitt, Wake Forest, NC State, and Syracuse, while taking road trips to Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, and Virginia. Week in and week out, we'll have all the play-by-play action right here on 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Warm-ups are done, the pregame festivities have come to a close, and both teams are ready to rock the gridiron. We're moments away from kickoff on 3304 Sports. For the call of today's game, let's send you up to the booth.
A revised version of Inner Sandman as the fans have packed back into Lane Stadium. The rain delay is over. The players are on the sideline. Lane Stadium isn't an entrance. Inner Sandman isn't an entrance today, but it certainly is still the same spectacle. The students are bouncing. Everybody else packed in. It's supposed to be an orange effect. It mostly is an orange effect in Lane Stadium, but there's still a few ponchos out there and about. We will check the radar continuously throughout tonight's game for rain, but right now the skies look clear. No rain at the moment as both teams take the field. I'm Nick Brown to my left, Carter Hill, Purdue, and Virginia Tech just a few short moments away. Carter, it's always a grand entrance with Inner Sandman, but today it's a little different.
A little different. Same thing happened in the 2015 NC State game. No entrance, but we do get to hear for the kickoff. The stadium, the Lane Stadium, just as energized as ever. We're about to hear Exit Light Inner Night, and this place is ready to rock and roll for a 12-15 kick. And again, Lane Stadium, one of the better environments in all of college football, about to get after the Purdue Boilermakers today.
Kyle Lowe has the ball teed up to boot the ball deep. Receiving for Purdue, number 3, Tyrone Tracy Jr., who had a house call against Fresno State a week ago, and we are underway here in Blacksburg. This ball goes over the head of Tracy Jr., and it's a touchback.
Well, Nick, it's eerily similar to Castle Coliseum right now. Exit light, inner night, after tip-off. We're now getting a kickoff here in Lane Stadium, and the Hokie defense on the field first as Virginia Tech won the toss and deferred to the second half.
We've seen it so many times, but never gets old. One of the best, even if it's a little revised. Hokies defense takes the field. Hudson Card trots out onto the field. The Austin, Texas native and Texas transfer. In the gun to start. 2 backs, 1 on either side of his hip. 2 wideouts to the right. Middle of the hashes, working left to right at the 25. Shotgun snap for Card. It's a delayed handoff. No, pulls it out on a pass, and it's incomplete. The screen pass is dropped by Tyrone Tracy Jr., and that's how we kick off today's game. Second and 10.
Tyrone Tracy Jr., a transfer from Iowa in his 6th season at the collegiate ranks. You mentioned the house call in the kicking game last week in the loss to Fresno State. A dynamic converted receiver, though, too, in the backfield for Purdue.
Trips to the right, 2 wideouts to the left. Empty backfield for Card. Hokies 4-man front, shotgun snap for Card, drops back, quick screen pass out to the right for his tight end, rumbling out to the 30, and is stopped at the 32. A solid gain of 7, brings up 3rd down and 3. Max Clare, the redshirt freshman, getting the start today. Guilford, Indiana native. We have an injured player on the field already for the Hokies.
Yeah, it looks like Keontae Jenkins right in front of the Virginia Tech sideline around the 31-yard line.
Ripped off his helmet immediately. He's still down right there at the sideline, not moving. Hopefully he's all right. He's in a crouched position at the moment. Not really sure what they're checking on. Can't tell if it was head contact or what. That's a big blow for the Hokies defense right out of the gates.
Yeah, especially with Darius Payne up front. He's going to miss the first half due to the targeting penalty against Old Dominion a week ago. We saw Jalen Stroman was also ejected for targeting as well. He's playing tonight, though, but Keontae Jenkins, we already seen him go into the 10 on the Virginia Tech sideline, and not a good sign for the Hokies.
3rd down and 3 for the Purdue offense. Ball at their own 32. They have to get to their own 35. At the right hash, 2 wideouts to the right, 2 to the left. Maccabee is the running back on the left hip of Card. Drop back step for Card. Looks over the middle. Wide open man, snagged and reeled in. Splits a couple of defenders and gets his way out to the 43-yard line. TJ Sheffield, the redshirt junior, with his first snag of the game.
Yeah, TJ Sheffield, the leading receiver that returned from a season ago for Purdue, broke a tackle on that one to get loose, and Boilermakers inching closer to Virginia Tech territory here early on.
In the gun, trips to the left. Maccabee, the one back on the right. Motion to the left hip. Takes the snap, distributes the rock. Maccabee, a run up the middle, goes for about 2 yards to the 45, brings up 2nd down and 8, middle of the hashes.
Yeah, Maccabee too in the backfield, one of the guys that did return from that Purdue team a season ago that won the Big Ten West Division. Rushed for nearly 1,000 yards in West Lafayette a season ago and is a dynamic back in the Purdue backfield.
Bunch formation, 2 wideouts left, 1 to the right. Maccabee gets the call, play action pass, looking deep for a man, up the seam, he's got him behind the D, it's broken up at the last second. 2 Hokies converge, it's Dorian Strong for Virginia Tech, mixed with Jalen Jones, the converted wide receiver to now safety, and they break it up, 3rd down and 8.
It was trying to hit Dion Burge there, who caught 152 yards worth of passes a week ago in the loss to Fresno State. He's in double coverage, and Virginia Tech did a nice job blocking it away and setting up a big 3rd and long.
Monster 84-yard touchdown to open the game against Fresno State. 2 wideouts to the left, 2 to the right. In the gun, Card. They have to get to the Hokies 47. 3rd down and 8, shotgun snap. Hokies bring 3. They almost get them. He's pressured, flips it out. Open man Sheffield Jr. and slips right at the yard to gain. Did he get enough? He did. There was a towel right at the 1st down marker, and he put his foot there and slipped.
Yeah, TJ Sheffield too, if he keeps his footing there in that situation, maybe could have gotten another 15 yards out of that one, but still picks up the 1st down, and Purdue is moving the ball into Virginia Tech territory for the first time this afternoon.
Wide receivers bunch to the left, 2 out wide to the right. Tyrone Tracy Jr. is the back. Play action pass, flipping it out. Wide open tight end Claire makes a move at the 25, cuts it back at the 20, and falls forward at the 19. A busted coverage, and Claire rumbles his way into the Hokies territory. Red zone for the Boilermakers.
Yeah, Purdue utilizing Max Claire, the starting tight end, a lot early on, and we saw that tempo offense from Old Dominion last week. While the Boilermakers don't run the exact same thing, had shown signs about wanting to go quick, so they will slow it down here as they reach the 19-yard line.
3 receivers in the formation, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. At the right hash, working left to right of the Boilermakers, 1st and 10 from the 19. Stepping back, delayed handoff to Maccabee, who gets a couple of blocks and is stuffed at the 15.
A nice gain on 1st down, right? You pick up 4 on the play, 2nd and 6, and you're at the point now where you don't want to say a field goal is a given in college football, but you almost got a chip shot here, so for Purdue just trying to punch it in, and a touchdown early on against this Virginia Tech defense would be much needed to stall the momentum of the Hokies.
4 receivers, 2 on either side of the O-line. Maccabee the back. Another sweeping handoff to Maccabee, who finds a seam, splitting his way, shutting defenders into the end zone. Touchdown, Purdue! A 75-yard opening drive, and it's capped with a 15-yard touchdown by Alex Maccabee.
What a start for the Purdue Boilermakers. Yeah, Maccabee just getting in on that one, breaking a couple of tackles, and again, first drive of the game, 75 yards right down the field, completely hushes this Lane Stadium crowd, and Virginia Tech now going to have to respond quickly.
6-0, on for the extra point. Paul Pfeiffer. Clean snap, clean hold, clean kick, it's away, and it is good. An early lead for the Boilermakers as Brent Freehill connects with the extra point. 7-0, 11:26 on the clock here in the 1st quarter. 75 yards, capped by a 15-yard touchdown run by Mockbee. We'll see you on the other side of the break. You're listening to 3304 Sports.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
Welcome back to the action indeed. I'm Nick Brown to my left. Carter Hill as Devin Mockbee just ran the football 15 yards into the end zone to draw first blood between Purdue and Virginia Tech. The Boilermakers up 7 with 11:26 to go in the first quarter. That last drive elapsed 3 minutes and 34 seconds. It was a 9-play, 75-yard drive. Like I said, Mockbee taking 15 yards into the end zone. A lot of slip tackles there as the rain starts to come down a little bit harder now. The Hokies get their chance to respond.
Virginia Tech now getting the ball for the first time. Again, we talked about the mismatch in this game being Virginia Tech likely going to be able to throw the ball against this Purdue secondary. And we're going to see likely Grant Wells throughout the majority of the contest, and I think he's got to get going early on to kind of get some of the momentum back after Purdue struck for 7.
The running back duo for the Hokies, Tootin and Thomas back. It'll be Tootin to let it go over his head for a touchback. Here we go. Virginia Tech's offense trotting onto the field for the first time. Grant Wells, over 250 yards passing a week ago. He only went over that number 2 times a season ago for the Hokies. Already halfway through that number in this season already. Hokies elect on the left hash. So the near hash, working right to left on your radio dial. In the pistol to start out, it's Wells. 2 wideouts wide to the right, 2 bunch to the left. Tootin is the running back behind Wells. Pistol shot, pistol snap, flip over the middle on a slant route, incomplete. Hokies wanted a flag, and here comes a very late call. So that'll be an automatic 15 yards and a first down. That was a very late call by the back judge, but nonetheless, the Hokie fans get the call they were asking for.
Yeah, it was Cam Allen, the starting safety, who got in there and broke it up off the hands of Jalen Lane. And, you know, it's just a 7-yard pickup, but it's good yardage, and you get an automatic first down, which is the most important thing. So 1 penalty for 7 yards so far. How about that early on in this game?
Wells in the gun now, Tootin on his left hip. 1 tight end, 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. motioning Tootin to the right, drop back pass for Wells. Guns it over the middle, wide open lane at the 35-40, cuts it upfield to the 50, and he falls forward into plus territory at the 47-yard line. Ollie Jennings in heaping a lot of pain right now at the 45, not looking good for the Hokies. Jennings in a ton of agony right now.
And that is not good for Virginia Tech. Early on, we've seen how crucial and important Ollie Jennings can be to this Virginia Tech offense. Hopefully, for his sake, maybe just a little stinger, maybe jammed his foot or something. We have not seen the replay, but
it was definitely a no contact, went down at the 45 on his own. And that's always, those can always be the worst.
Oh, no doubt.
Tech fans fearing for an ACL. He's in a lot of pain, folks. We'll step aside for a commercial break. You're listening to Virginia Tech and Purdue on 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
Ollie Jennings, the injured Hokie on the play. He got rolled up on by his own man, Jalen Lane. It looked like a bad ankle injury. He was immediately taken to the sideline, carried off by a trainer and other player. Not looking good for Tech fans as he was wideout number one to start the year. A lot of hype around him, and it stinks to see him go down early on in the season. Play goes on as Wells starts in the shotgun. 1st and 10 at the 47 in plus territory for Virginia Tech. Shotgun snap and a delivered handoff immediately to Tootin, and he's dropped behind the line. Big hit there by the D lineman. OC Brothers coming in right up the gut, untouched. Tootin is dropped.
Yeah, Bayshall Tootin wrapped up in the backfield too, lost 3, and back to Ollie Jennings too, no weight on that right foot and still looks to be in quite a bit of pain on the sideline.
2nd and 13 from the 50, low snap and a flag comes out. This looks like a snap infraction.
Yeah, the snap completely was spiked in the turf, and unfortunately that's one of the effects of the weather. We see right in front of us now the rain is just pouring down here at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, and that can cause some difficulties for the guys that snap the football at the center position, and Caden Moore just, I don't know if it hit off maybe the top of his rear end and then spiked into the dirt. Took a little bit of an interesting hop to Grant Wells, but nonetheless, sets up a 2nd and 18. So the Hokies just kind of need to chip away and maybe try to get 6 or 7 on this play and make it a manageable 3rd down.
2nd and 18, 4 wide out split by the O-line. Tootin is the back. In motion, Benji Gosnell, a handoff to Tootin, who finds a little bit of a hole, bounces outside, and is caught from behind by 5 Boilermakers and tackled at the line of scrimmage. No gain, no loss. 3rd and 18.
Yeah, looks like Langdon got in there too and made the stop for Purdue. And now 3rd and 18. What do? Do you try to set yourself up to manage the 4th down, or you just air it out and see what can happen? We'll see what Brent Wilson company opt for on the offensive end.
3rd and 18. Hokies at their own 45. They have to get to the Boilermaker 37. 4 wide out split. Shotgun snap. Purdue brings 3. Wells steps up, fires one deep, and it's into no man's land, way out of bounds. And it brings up 4th and 18. A promising drive delayed by an injury from Ollie Jennings III, and then followed up by a penalty and a loss of 3, and it stifles out at midfield. Peter Moore back to punt for the Hokies and back to receive for the Purdue Boilermakers, Marquise Wilson. Marquise Wilson is actually a transfer from Penn State who played under head coach for the Hokies, Brent Pry at Penn State.
One of 3 transfers from Penn State on this current Purdue roster.
Clean snap, clean catch. Punt is away by Moore, a spiraling boot. Beautiful punt that lands at the 5 and plants at the 3. What a snipe from Peter Moore, and he's juiced up. Hokies defense trots onto the field with some life.
That's big time there. You pin the Boilermakers all the way back to the 5-yard line. And oh my gosh, the rain is just pouring.
Ironically, when we were under a weather delay, the rain wasn't even half this bad. This is bad. The rain coming down in droves at the moment.
You can probably hear it on the crowd mic. It's even getting. It's tough for us to see high above the stadium. We're number 7. Nonetheless, your Hudson Card back into the Virginia Tech style section in the north end zone. This could be quite the challenge.
Got to be careful with the snap. Hokies show pressure. 2 running backs in the formation. Both straddle Card on either side of him. Shotgun snap, handoff up the middle, and a carry for a gain of 3. Dylan Downing, the senior, the UNLV transfer, picks up about 4, brings up 2nd and 6, out to the 9-yard line. Middle of the hashes, working left to right.
Gives you some breathing room too if you're Purdue. Out of your own end zone.
Tracy Jr. and Downing are the backs in the backfield. 2 wideouts left, 1 to the right for Card. Another handoff, pulls it out for a play action. It's a screen route, and it gets there to his man, Tracy Jr., but he's cut down after a gain of 4. 3 brings up 3rd down and 3. Hit him in the flat.
Jalen Jones, the converted wide receiver, making the stop on the play as well. Going to have to step up in the secondary for Virginia Tech with no Keontae Jenkins at this point either. Sets up a big 3rd down.
3rd and 3. 4 wide receivers split at the far hash. At the 11. Shotgun snap for Card. Hokies bring 4. Card in some trouble, flips it out to Claire, his tight end, and they've got it. 1st down over the middle.
Max Claire, how about that? 3 receptions already today. The starting tight end for Purdue has been the spark offensively for the Boilermakers. Already matched his weekend total last week in the loss to Fresno State from a reception standpoint.
Out to the 20-yard line. Trips to the left, 2 receivers to the right. 3-man front for the Hokies. In motion, Sheffield in the backfield. Shotgun snap, Card over the middle. He's got a man, and he connects down to the 36. 1st down and more for the Boilermakers. Abdur Raham Racine, the redshirt junior, converting there. The former 4-star out of Southfield, Michigan.
In his first reception of the day. And this is concerning for Virginia Tech. Purdue is moving the ball with ease so far today. This drive included as well.
2 receivers at the bottom of the screen bunched up. 2 at the top. Claire in motion. And it's a quarterback keeper for Card, who slips out of the read option and picks up 4. That's a play that crushed the Hokies defensively a week ago against Old Dominion. They let Grant Wilson for the Monarchs run wild and free. Card using it there for a gain of 4. He was the second leading rusher for the Boilermakers a week ago, and that's not a good sign for Purdue.
Well, again, positive yardage on every single play. That's been a big deal for Purdue thus far.
Trips at the top of the field. Ball at the 40. 2nd and 6. Card flips it out in the flats for his running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. First down and more.
Yeah, Tyrone Tracy Jr. already making a dent in this ball game, as well as Devin Maccabee, I should say, in the backfield. And just like that, again, Purdue now knocking on the door of Virginia Tech territory. The Hokies have got to find a way to get a stop here.
Rain subsiding for the moment here in Blacksburg. Card in the gun. Boilermakers want to go quick. Drop it back to pass once again. Pressured off the edge. Evades the first hit. Rolls out to his right. Looking deep. Pressured. Flips it out to the sideline. It is caught but dropped out of bounds. Bobbled. Kelly Lawson on the coverage. Trying to hit Tracy Jr. in the flats. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10. First positive play for the Hokies defense in a while.
Yeah, and APR nearly had him in the backfield. The transfer from Florida. Nice job by Hudson Card to evade him and at least throw an incompletion so you don't lose those 10 yards and stop your positive play streak if you're Purdue.
2 running backs in the formation, Downing and Tracy Jr. 2 receivers at top of the field. Shotgun snap, another delayed handoff to Downing, who slithers through the hole for a gain of 3 out to the Hokies 49, and this brings up their longest 3rd down of the game. 3rd down and 7.
Well, Purdue has already flipped the field position, but again, if you're the Hokies, you have got to get a stop here, and I think we may have just hit another weather delay. Danny White, the Associate Athletics Director, has come out and talked to our head referee, and this could be an issue.
We're going to have a conference call. Associate Athletic Director for Purdue runs across the field. Coach Pry and Walters making their way over to the referees. Everybody converging at around the 30, and I think you're right. I think we're about to have another weather delay.
Which is, such a shame, too, because you had everybody leave the stadium, come back to see 10 minutes of football, enter Salmon on the kickoff, and Purdue score. And now they may have to leave again if it is lightning in the area, which is really the only reason we would stop. We're not, in most likely scenarios, going to stop for rain, so.
No more rain either.
Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to weather in the area.
And here come the cascade of boos from the students. And we are going to have another weather delay. 5:50 in the first quarter, 7-0 Purdue leads. Virginia Tech and the Boilermakers. Purdue will head back to the locker rooms. We'll step aside and we will be back. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
Sold-out stadiums, deafening noise, hostile environments.
Look at this. This is just spectacular.
Electric atmospheres.
These people are losing their mind. This is beautiful.
Your favorite time of the year is back.
Welcome to the Town Dome, baby.
Every snap.
Play action fake. Wells facing pressure. Airing it out down the left sideline. It is caught. Dwayne Lofton into the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. 54 yards to the house.
Every hit.
Receives the snap. Looks to the right under pressure. Taken down yet again.
Every touchdown.
With a burst of speed, it's King in the open field. 35-40, 35-30. There he goes. He's gone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. A monstrous run.
This is college football on 3304 Sports. Now it's time for your pregame coverage. Let's head up to the booth for your 3304 Sports pregame report.
Back like we never left here in Blacksburg, 5.5 hours after the game was delayed. Virginia Tech and Purdue to do battle with 5:50 to go in the first quarter. Purdue leading Virginia Tech 7-0 here in Blacksburg. Hello everybody and welcome back to the dried out broadcasting booth. I'm Nick Brown, to my left Carter Hill here from 3304 Sports. We got to get everybody caught up, Mr. Carter Hill, because a lot happened, and I'm not even talking about the first 10 minutes of the football game.
No, I mean, this is insane. I mean, unheard of. For the first time in Lane Stadium history, we have a mid-game delay. Purdue leading 7-0, 5:50 remaining in quarter number 1, so we barely made a dent in this ball game. Devin Mockabee scores from around 15 yards out to give the Boilermakers the early 7-0 advantage, and Purdue has driven the ball well early on with Hudson Cardis, the Boilermakers starting signal caller. Ollie Jennings out for the game, seemingly had to leave the game with an ankle injury. We saw him in a boot, so there's a couple storylines there. Purdue able to move the ball, probably no Ollie Jennings, so a lot has happened in the first 10 minutes. But yeah, a 5.5-hour weather delay is insane in college football. Like I said, never happened in Lane Stadium history, but again, we're going to start up at 6:15, just like we're starting up a game once again. The Boilermakers do have the lead, though, and the Hokies needed to stop on a 3rd and 7.
Couple costume changes for the coaching staffs across the way and here near us in our booth. Well, it's been a spectacle to say the least. There's been videos flying around social media of how Blacksburg is handling the rain, and this is unprecedented rain. Unbelievable storm that came through here. They rained for a solid 3.5 hours straight of just sideways continuous rain. And props to the grounds crew for clearing everything up and getting everything ready to roll, because when it was really coming down, at a point there was hail. When it was really coming down, there was at least 5 or 6 inches of rain on the field.
Yeah, and the field conditions, to be totally honest, were awful, per se. I mean, we were in the press box probably around 2 o'clock, and it was completely flooded. I mean, just what a day in Blacksburg. We both have grown up in Blacksburg, and I can't really remember us having a storm like that in quite some period of time, much less on a college football Saturday here with Virginia Tech in town. So, no, it was very, very strange to see what had occurred here in Lane. The concourse is apparently, was very apocalyptic, if you will, with Jack Brissinine reporting down there, shoulder to shoulder, sideways rain coming through. Beamer Way was blocked off because of the road being flooded. Just a very eerie day in Blacksburg, and it looks like it will conclude with some football, though.
Yeah, blue skies are actually peeking through, the sun shining through the clouds that are just drifting around the stadium at the moment. A good contingency of fans making their way back out into the stadium. They said the gates are open, anybody can show up. You don't have to have a ticket, just sit wherever. The student section's about a quarter filled of what it was previously, but everybody else making their way back into the stands. I was telling Mr. Carter Hill before we started recording once again that the best analogy I could come up with is the way this game's going to restart. It's like you're playing a game of Madden. Your mom comes into your room, tells you have to pause the game and eat dinner. So you pause the game, eat dinner for about an hour, and then you go back up into your room and you start the game up from where you were. That's essentially what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great analogy, except you have to go up for dinner for 5.5 hours straight. I mean, we stopped around, I don't have the exact time, but we stopped around 12:45 local time, and we're going to start up right around 6:15. And we sat out here for probably 4.5 of those hours with nothing going on the field. Nobody in the stands. The indoor practice facility is full of fans, and the Hokie Bird and what's his name, Pete, the Purdue mascot, playing, oh, and here's Inner Sandman again, just to get everybody fired up. But they're playing cornhole in the indoor. Castle Coliseum is filled with fans. The parking lots are filled with people trying to tailgate, but they got to stay in their cars because of the weather. It really has just been a bizarre day in Blacksburg, and Virginia Tech hopefully can be re-energized now with Inner Sandman. And it's not exactly a redo. You're still trailing 7-0, but a fresh start here in this ballgame.
Let's look over some stats before we get going. Purdue outgaining the Hokies 122 yards to 18. Purdue really controlled and dominated that first quarter of play.
Oh yeah, they went up and down the field with ease. I mean, 75 yards on the first drive with Hudson Card. Devin Mockabee scores from 20 yards out, and then they started this current drive at the 5, have already made it essentially to midfield. So this Virginia Tech defense has really got to step it up, and the Purdue offense has been certainly the storyline so far for sure.
3rd down and 7 is how we will start this ball game in just a few minutes. Hudson Card, like you said, 8 for 11 to start this game, 89 passing yards. Purdue has started the game 3 for 3 on 3rd downs. They faced their largest of the game. The previous 3rd downs were 3rd and 4 or less. This will be 3rd and 7 when they come on back. Virginia Tech had a rough start, like you said. They had a first down or two, and then Ollie Jennings, of course, their top receiver, going down with an apparent ankle injury. It's a tough start for the Hokies, but everybody's regrouped. I mean, not much you could say except for 5 hours and 30 minutes have elapsed time since we went to break, and we are back.
Well, listen to that, Nick. Exit light, enter night. Literally, I mean, it's 6:15. This game started at noon. We're probably going to be finishing south of 9 o'clock Eastern time. It's been just an unreal day, and I don't mean to hammer that home, but geez Louise, I mean, you just don't see this happen in college football. Has not happened ever in Lane Stadium's history, and it really is just incredible. It really is.
And there were a ton of game pauses throughout the country. Rain was just wreaking havoc all across the East Coast, but college football back in Blacksburg for the day. Third and 7.
Charlottesville?
Charlottesville. JMU upsetting Virginia. Let's play some football, Carter Hill.
Yes, sir.
5:50 back on the scoreboard. 7-0, Purdue leading. Virginia Tech on defense, Purdue on offense. Ball is at the Hokies 49, middle of the hashes. Purdue has to get to the Virginia Tech 42-yard line to continue the drive. In the gun, Hudson Card. 5.5 hours later, we snap the football. Shotgun snap for Card. Hokies bring pressure. He gets it loose to Claire, and he is leveled at the sticks. 2 yards short. There is a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Tyrone Terry went in motion. I wonder if it's an illegal shift. Huh.
A false start, and the play got off anyways. It's going to be dysfunctional, and it will be a testament to these two newer coaches, the head coach positions, Ryan Walters at Purdue, Brent Pry at Virginia Tech, how well they can corral this energy and get their teams refocused. They just sat in the locker room and ate hot dogs for 5.5 hours. Can they come back, regroup, and play a game of football again? Trips to the left for Card, 3rd and 12. One wide out on an island to the right. Card in the gun, Maccabees the back. Shotgun snap. Hokies bring a little bit of pressure. Stepping up in the pocket. Card drafting back. He's drifting, and he is going to be sacked way back at the 37. What a hit. Alan Tisdale blew it up, and the Hokies are fired up, and they get the first positive play when we come back 5.5 hours later.
How about that? He had plenty of time, too, as well, to elude tacklers and maybe at least throw it away, but Hudson Card, nonetheless, takes the sack, and Virginia Tech's going to get the ball back.
What was 3rd and 7 after the weather delay turns into 4th down and 20, the 6th season sack for the Hokies, and Saxburg is alive and well. First of the game. Back to boot this ball away, Ansel, and he rolls out and gets a squabbler that will be snagged at the 25-yard line by Jalen Lane. Great catch there with the...
First time we're going to hear "We Ready" today as well. Didn't get that at kickoff because of Enter Sandman. So, you know, the itinerary for today has definitely been mixed up. But, again, interesting, memorable day of football. I was just waiting for the guy in the red hat down there, Nick, to come out and say, hey, media timeout. And I was going to be like, guys, come on. We've had 5.5 hours. Let's go.
Grant Wells in the gun. 2 wideouts to the right. Second drive of the game for the Hokies. At the near hash at their own 25. Working right to left on your radio dial. Dropping back, it's going to be an option play. Wells keeps it himself, and he's got a solid carry of about, take it back 2 yards. It looked better from up here. 2nd down and 8 after the 27. Thought he may have had a little more space if he pitched it out. Wells in the gun, same formation, twins on either side. Dropping back, Wells, slant route over the middle, it's snagged, and it will be a first down for Stephen Gosnell, dragging 3 Boilermakers across the line to gain all the way out to the 40. That is pure leg strength by there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you mentioned it with the slant route. Now Virginia Tech right back to the line, they want to go.
Hurry up offense in effect for the Hokies. Virginia Tech looks like they came to play after this weather delay. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right for Wells in the gun. Lane in motion. It's going to be a pop pass to Lane. Lane gets a couple blocks around the edge. Stiff arms a man, but he is cut down behind the line for a loss of 2. He would have had a big gain if he was able to escape that tackle. 2nd down and 11.
Yes, Sanusi Kane out of Harlem, New York, making the tackle for Purdue, and that was likely a 20-yard play-saving tackle from the starting cornerback.
Twins on either side of the O-line, top of the hashes. Wells drops back, guns it to the sideline. The far sideline reeled in there by Daquan Wright, the big tight end who had a monster freshman season. He's 1 yard short, so it brings up 3rd down and 1.
Still a positive play for Virginia Tech, and the Hokies needing to convert here in this situation.
2 wideouts to the left at the far hash. Handoff right up the middle for Tootin. Ball comes out. Ball is loose. Who's got it? Stephen Gosnell hops on it. Heads up play. The ball popped out literally at the line of scrimmage and fell back to the sideline 10 yards past.
Well, even though the Hokies are fortunate to recover the football, that's a big mistake there. I don't know if Bashaw Tootin would have had the first down. It looked close, but by the time the ball comes out, no way you're going to pick up the first down there. So the Hokies will have to punt again, and here come the marching Virginians.
Band making their way back out. This time they're wearing shorts and T-shirts. An odd day for sure in Blacksburg. One of the oddest we've ever seen. Peter Moore back to boot the ball away for the second time today. He pinned the ball within the 5 on his first punt. Clean snap, clean catch, ball is away. Another spiraling boot. This is a bomb that's going to be received at the 15, and escaping one tackle are the Boilermakers. All the way making it out is number 16, Marquise Wilson, all the way out to the 32-yard line of the far hash. Red man on the field. Timeout here in Blacksburg. We'll step aside as well. 7-0 with 2:14 to go in the first quarter. Welcome back, Tech fans and Purdue fans. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
After tonight's ball game, head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
It's time to find out what's going on across the landscape of college football. For today's scoreboard update and the rest of your pregame coverage, we send you back up to the booth.
Welcome back to Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech trails Purdue 7-0 here in Lane Stadium. A half-filled Lane Stadium after the weather delay. Virginia Tech driving the football on their second drive. Unfortunately for the Hokies, the ball got punched out and they had to take a loss of 5 after a fumble at the line to gain. I'm Nick Brown, to my left, Carter Hill. Thank you for tuning in to 3304 Sports. 6:22 is the official time on the clock right now. We've been here since 8:30 in the morning.
Yes,
we're gonna be here north of 12 hours.
Yeah, most likely for sure. Yeah, and Virginia Tech seemed to have settled down a little bit, but at the same time they get a big stop defensively. They get the ball back. They drive about halfway down the field. You set up a 3rd and 1, and then Bashaw Tootin fumbles the football. Now, granted, Virginia Tech does recover, but at the same time, it's a huge momentum shifter when you could have picked up the first, and instead you lose 5 yards on the play with Stephen Gosnell having to range back and recover the fumble. So Purdue gets the ball back now, and Tech's defense has to continue to step up just like they did on the previous drive towards the latter half, and that's going to be what wins or loses this ball game. We mentioned Virginia Tech; they're hopefully going to be able to throw the ball in the air against the Purdue secondary. Well, the Tech defense now has to do their part as well.
Ball at the 32-yard line at the far hash. Boilermakers working left to right. 3rd drive of the game for Purdue. Last play out, Card was sacked for a loss of 8. Twins to the right. Clear the tight end on the right side of the O-line. And a wide out all the way to the left.
And they've utilized Max Clare quite a bit already in this ball game. 3 receptions, ties his total from a week ago in the loss to Fresno State. So it's interesting to see how the Boilermakers continue to utilize tight end number 1.
Dylan Downing is the running back on the right hip of Card. Motioning Deion Burks to the left hip. A sweep play that's pulled out by Card on a read option, and he is lit up after a gain of 3. What a play by Card to rip that ball out of Burks' hands on the read option. Hokies came crashing in and blew it up immediately, but he still picks up positive yards out to the 35.
Yeah, that's the second time today we've seen the Boilermakers use the read option as well. Virginia Tech has done it once too, and that's certainly a part of the Boilermakers game offensively, particularly with their running back / wide receiver set.
Tracy Jr. is the running back. He's motioned to the right. Shotgun snap for Card. Dropping back, scanning, pressured off the edge, steps up into the pocket, pump fakes, flips it out to his running back. It is caught in. That could be a late hit right there as he was pushed out of bounds at the 50. Surprised they didn't throw the flag there. Nonetheless, Purdue picks up the first down and all the way out to the 49-yard line on their side of the field. Boilermakers with the ball at the 49. Twins to the left, Island receiver to the right. Card hikes the hide, distributes the rock into the hole. Tracy Jr. goes nowhere except for a gain of 1. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Well, also, it's important to note, too, Virginia Tech secondary's gotten very young all of a sudden. I mean, Keontae Jenkins goes out early in this game. No Nazir Peoples today. And so now you have Caleb Woodson out there, Jalen Stroman, Mose Phillips as well. So 2 true freshmen right now in the normal rotation for Tech.
In the gun, it's Card. Tracy Jr.'s the back, drops back, flips it out to the near sideline. It's caught, and it's a first down. Beating the freshman All-American Mansour Delane was number 2, Abdur Raham Yassin, the redshirt junior, moving the chains for the Boilermakers out to the 39. At the near hash. Those out routes have gashed Virginia Tech already today. 2 wide outs at the top of the field, 1 at the bottom. Card receives a pigskin. Scans right, looks back over the middle, looking deep. He's got a man on the wheel route. It's Claire who wasn't looking for the football, and it's incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the Hokies 39.
Again, going back to the tight end, and Max Claire, redshirt freshman out of Indiana. And just 2 passes a week ago. He's already been utilized a lot today. And with that receiving core, he's quite a weapon in the Purdue receiving game.
4 wide out, split by the O-line at the near hash. At the 39, it's 2nd and 10. 4-man front for the Hokies. They show pressure. It's a gaping hole for Maccabee, who slips through the line for maybe a first down. No, he's stymied just a yard short. Somehow he fell forward over the line, and this actually might be enough for a first.
Yeah, he just continued to push that pile. Devin Maccabee, just a very physical running back. They're going to say...
Yep, it's a first down.
Okay.
That will be the end of the first quarter of play. 7-0 Virginia Tech trailing Purdue at home. We'll step aside. We'll see you on the other side. Second quarter on the other side of this break here in Blacksburg.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
Celebrating the Hokie Bird's birthday here in Lane Stadium. Not sure how old he is. Did date all the way
this
back?
Fall,
There was a live
3304 Sports
on the
has
sideline
partnered up.
back in the 30s and 40s and evolved into the lovable, fluffy character that is known as the Hokie Bird today.
Can I ask you something, Nick?
Yes, sir.
This fall, who is 3304 partner with?
Tech Sideline.
Tech Sideline. There you go. There you go. There you go. No, I just wanted to hear you finish the statement.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the commercial somehow.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah, no, it's... Well, first off, we're grateful for the partnership with Tech Sideline, helping to send us on the road and everything. But, hey, we've still got a long way before the Hokies hit the road. I mean, we got 3 quarters left in this Hokies-Purdue game. Tech trailing 7-0. And, interesting start for Virginia Tech. And, got to have a good second quarter here for sure.
Purdue had a marvelous first quarter of play, running hog wild on the Hokies. 39 rushing yards, 114 passing yards. That adds up to a whopping 153. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech only finishing the first quarter of play with 37 total yards. 6 hours, 30 minutes is how long that first quarter took. That number's a little skewed.
Yeah, that was a long first quarter for sure.
As we get ready here to start the second quarter of play, Purdue with the football deeper into Virginia Tech territory at the 29-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hudson Card and his fellow Boilermakers. The Austin, Texas native stands in the gun with Twins at the bottom of the field. Hikes the hide, distributes it to Maccabee, and he is gummed up at the line. In fact, he's going to lose a yard or 2, and it will bring up 2nd and 12. Blowing up that play was Mario Kendricks off the edge.
Yeah, both Kendricks and Antoine Powell-Ryland got in there to combine on that tackle, and that was a man's jam, as they like to say in basketball, beyond the line of scrimmage. And losing, 2 yards on the play, and again, you're a 2nd and long situation now for Purdue. You got to take advantage here.
7-0 Purdue leading Virginia Tech. 14:30 and rolling here in the second quarter. Hokies show pressure, but they back off. Carton takes a snap. Drops back deeper at his 40, flips it over the middle. He's got a man who is lit up and planted by Mansour Delane at the 26. What a crushing blow by the true sophomore at corner.
Back-to-back big-time hits by the Virginia Tech defense, and Mansour Delane giving every ounce of his body he could give there to TJ Sheffield. 3rd and 7 now for Tech at the 26. You're likely in field goal range, but you certainly want to get a stop now and halt the momentum for sure.
Purdue with the football, trying to add on to their 7-0 lead as we dive south of 14 minutes here in the second quarter. Card in the gun, 2 wideouts to his left, 1 to the right. Maccabee is the back. Play action pass. They flip it out into the flats to clear the tight end, and he's chopped down at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 4th and 7 at the 26-yard line.
And welcome back to the game, Keontae Jenkins. And this is an interesting decision for Purdue, although it looks like they will opt to kick it. 4th and about. I don't think he got anything on the play. 7 at the 26. So, yeah, definitely the right call as the Boilermakers try to take a 10-0 lead.
Kicking this football is Ben Freehill, Oklahoma State transfer. He missed his 1 career field goal attempt last year. From the near hash at the 33. Kick is up, and it is good. Splitting the golden rods and extending the Purdue lead. 10-0 with 13:03 on the scoreboard here in the second quarter. We'll step aside for a break ourselves. Purdue up 10 early on in the second quarter. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
Up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
The 2023 Virginia Tech football season is loaded with exciting matchups every weekend on 3304 Sports. Non-conference opponents like Purdue, Rutgers, and Marshall won't disappoint. In ACC play, the Hokies host Pitt, Wake Forest, NC State, and Syracuse, while taking road trips to Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, and Virginia. Week in and week out, we'll have all the play-by-play action right here on 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Do you love pregame shows like College Game Day, Sunday NFL Countdown, and Big Noon Kickoff? Boy, do we have the show for you. Tune into the 3304 Kickoff Show every Friday afternoon on the 3304 Sports YouTube channel. We talk all things Virginia Tech Hokies football all the time. Feature stories, panelist discussions, opponent analysis, and so much more. The 3304 Sports Kickoff Show, your pregame destination for college football, week in and week out.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
Welcome back to Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia, where Purdue leads Virginia Tech 10-0. I'm Nick Brown, to my left, Carter Hill, here on 3304 Sports. Thank you for tuning in. The noon kickoff that is extended all the way out to 6:36 on the clock at the moment, Eastern Time. We're just happy to be back, and it is dry. The sun is poked through these clouds, and it's a beautiful, beautiful environment at the moment.
Oh, yeah, probably around 20 to 25,000 people here now as well, and it's turned into a fun little night here in Blacksburg. Good weather now all of a sudden, and hopefully if you're a Virginia Tech fan, not only good weather, but good things to come for the Virginia Tech offense.
10-0 Purdue leading the Hokies. The ball is booted deep. Receiving this kick will be Malachi Thomas at his own 7. Takes it up the right sideline, gets a little juke, and he is caught up at his feet around the 23-yard line. So that's where the Hokies offense will start with the football. This will be their third drive of the game. Grant Wells starting the game 4 for 5, 43 yards, not too shabby. However, his team trails by 10, and they only have 37 total yards because they are unable to move the ball on the ground.
Oh, and Purdue is dominating the field position game as well, and not great field position here for Virginia Tech, but at the same time, you got to make something happen offensively, particularly without Ali Jennings.
At the near hash, officially at the 22-yard line. Wells throws a pick right to the defender at the 23, and Purdue is set up golden red all the way right there by number 10, Cam Allen.
Yeah, Cam Allen just stepped right in front of the intended receiver. First turnover of the year for Virginia Tech. First interception for Grant Wells. You know, that was an issue at times throughout the year for Wells. You know, that Georgia Tech game in particular. And on the flip side of things, yeah, it was trying to get it to Jalen Lane, and Cam Allen steps in front of him, picks it off. Nearly dropped it momentarily, but does come down with it. The Boilermakers are really set up now. You got to hold Purdue to a field goal if you're Virginia Tech's defense.
The former Brent Pry product out of Penn State transferred his way over to Purdue, picking off the Hokies quarterback, and sets up his Boilermakers at the 21 at the far hash. That's a gut-wrenching interception for Virginia Tech. Card in the gun. Bunch formation at the bottom of the screen. Turns right, pressured off his edge, flips it out, incomplete in the dirt. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 21.
Yeah, again, if you're Virginia Tech, this is right where the Boilermakers kicked that last field goal. You're at the 21-yard line. Not exactly a goal line situation. Obviously, fantastic field position for Purdue, but if you're the Hokies, you got to bear down here, and that was a nice start, getting pressure on Hudson Card.
12:46 on the game clock. 10-0 Purdue leading Virginia Tech. And we have field. Refs blowing some whistles, blowing the ball dead, but we're back and alive. Twins on either side of the O-line at the far hash of 21, 2nd and 10, 12:46 on the clock. Purdue leading by 10. A delayed handoff who slithers through the line at the 10, the 5, touchdown Purdue, Tyrone Tracy Jr., 21 yards to the house, and Purdue extends their 10-0 lead to 16-0. And that is a sledgehammer to the Virginia Tech defense early on in the second quarter with 12:39 officially on the scoreboard.
Yeah, this is just a disastrous start for Virginia Tech out of the weather delay. I mean, just like that, 10 points. You have the field goal, the interception, and now a touchdown in, 2 plays? That was easy from 21.
Back to boot the ball through the sticks. Ben Freehill connected on his first extra point and field goal earlier today. Kick is up, and it was almost blocked. Still, nonetheless, it gets through, and it's 17-0. Boilermakers come into Lane Stadium and lead by 3 scores. 12:39 on the clock. Virginia Tech trails by 17. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
Welcome back to Blacksburg, where Purdue leads Virginia Tech 17-0 on the road in the state of Virginia. A nice 5.5-hour long weather delay extended the first quarter, but we sit at 12:39, ready to go in the second quarter. Purdue already with 17 points on the scoreboard. And I'm really looking at the plays right here. The stat that's really telling to me right now is Virginia Tech has only ran 10 total plays. Meanwhile, Purdue has run 29.
Yeah, I mean, they've dominated the time of possession as well. I mean, Purdue has just been that much better than Virginia Tech today so far. Now, it's still early in the ball game, but you're in a 17-0 hole, and if you're Virginia Tech's offense, you got to find a way to get points here offensively.
Tootin and Thomas, the pair of running backs, back to receive this kick. They've returned only one thus far, and got out to the 22. Swinging through the leg, and it's end over end. Tootin will receive this at his own 2. At the near sideline, takes it to the far sideline, gets a great block at the 15, at the 20, makes a man miss at the 20, and jukes out to the 25, and is slung out of bounds at the 31. That is how you get momentum back on your side with a pretty good kick return. Tootin just ran about 60 yards for a 30-yard return.
Yeah, nice run there by Bayshawn Tootin. Best kick return of the year, and it sets up Virginia Tech with, I believe, its best field position of the day. So if you're Grant Wells and company, you got to take advantage here and get points.
This Tech crowd really just wants to see something after waiting 5.5 hours in the drenched concourse. In the pistol, it's Wells. Malachi Thomas is the back. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Thomas gets the call, looks in the hole, patiently waits, and jukes forward for a gain of about 2. Brings up 2nd and 8 out to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and too, if you're Virginia Tech, it gets you 2 yards, but you really want to be aggressive offensively here. Yes, I mentioned it's still early, but you got to find a way to get some momentum back, and a good way to do that is maybe take advantage of the passing game even without Jennings.
Wells in the gun. Thomas on his hip, dropping back, 2nd and 8. Pressured off the edge, flips it out. He's got Gosnell in the flats, a far sideline. That was a great throw, being pressured off the edge, and he gets a gain of 6, gain of 5, brings up 3rd and 3.
Got to convert here if you're Virginia Tech, and right to the line they go with Grant Wells.
3rd and 3 from the 37. At the near hash, Hokies working left to right in their all orange jerseys. Thomas on the hip of Wells. Gosnell on the O-line as the tight end. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. Thomas is motioned out. Empty set for Wells. He takes the snap. Looks up into the pocket. Looks to the flat. It's Gosnell, and he is cut down 1 yard short of the line to gain. Brings up 3rd down and half a yard.
Yeah, Virginia Tech's going to punt. And I was going to say, I don't know. I mean, it's early, but he's got about a foot to go to get the first down.
The nose of the football to get the first.
There was not even a consideration there to go for it in that situation. I mean, I understand, but
10:52 and rolling here in the second quarter. 17-0 Purdue leading. Hokies to punt this ball away. Sawinski to return. Another gorgeous punt by Peter Moore, and it will be fair caught back at the 10-yard line. Beautiful punt by Moore to flip the field. We'll stay right here. We paid our rent. Virginia Tech's defense back on the field, so now the play count after a 3 and out only is 13 plays run by Virginia Tech's offense compared to Purdue's 29.
Well, and if you're Virginia Tech now, you didn't get it done offensively, but you flipped the field, and the Tech defense has just got to find a way to bear down here. You know Brent Pry wants to see that against Hudson Card and the Purdue Boilermakers.
Purdue backed up to their own 11 at the far hash. Card in the gun. Twins to the top of the field. Couple pulling guards, and the Hokies are all over that one. It's a loss of 1 back to the 10. The D-line shot the gaps. And it was Alan Tisdale, the linebacker, to blow the play up. Loss of 1 brings up 2nd down and 11. Purdue with 11 first downs today compared to Virginia Tech's 3. That's been the play. That's one of the many stats that show how tilted this game has started out as.
First time Tech's defense has really gotten to Devin Mockabee as well today, too. Stays in the ball game.
4-man front for the Hokies. Another delayed handoff to Mockabee, who juked right into the arms of freshman Caleb Woodson. It's a gain of 4 out to the gain of 5 out to the 15. Brings up 3rd down and 6. Mockabee had a hole, but juked right into the arms of the defender.
Yeah, back-to-back carries, and now at 3rd and 6 from the 15-yard line. This is a must-stop if you're Virginia Tech to get the ball back, force a 3 and out, and just get any possible momentum back shifted in your direction.
Purdue 3 for 5 on previous 3rd downs today. Trips out to the right, middle of the hashes at their own 15. They have to get to the 21. Shotgun snap. Card, DeZorian, quarterback keeper. He's got running room, but he's immediately wrapped up by Kelly Lawson. The freak of nature gets in there and brings him down. Brings up 4th down and 5 out to the, or 4th and 4 out to the 17. That's a great 3 and out by the Hokie D.
Oh yeah, much needed too. I mean, the best series Virginia Tech has had defensively all day long. And now, I mean, you got, look at this, 2 punt returners back. Jalen Lane and Tucker Holloway for the first time this season, and Tech should get this ball back around midfield.
Jalen Lane stands at his own 43. Holloway at his own 39. Ansel to boot the ball away, rolls out, and it's a rolling punt that trickles its way past the 40, into the 35, and plants at the 33. What a roll for Purdue. That punt caused a little bit of chaos, but nonetheless, Virginia Tech will start with the football again in their own side of the field. We'll step aside, another commercial break. Virginia Tech's offense trying to make some noise when we come back. You're listening to Virginia Tech and Purdue, where the Boilermakers lead by 17 here on 3304 Sports.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
17-0 is our score. Purdue leading Virginia Tech with 8:31 to go in the second quarter. Virginia Tech with the football at their own 33 at the far hash. Orange effect was kind of nixed by the rain, but the Hokies still donning orange uniforms, orange jerseys, orange pants, and white helmets. Purdue electing with more of a stormtrooper look, orange or gold helmets with white jerseys, white pants. Virginia Tech all-time 2-0 in this color combo. Trying to go 3-0 right now. They're in a deficit of 17 points. Wells in the gun, motions a man, and hands it off to Tootin right up the middle. Makes a man miss at the 35, sheds another tackle at the 38, makes his way to the 40, throws a shoulder, and the chicken wing gets him out of bounds at the 47-yard line. The biggest run of the season thus far for the Hokies goes for a whopping 15 yards.
Yeah, through a turkey leg there, if you will, right around midfield, and Virginia Tech, for the first time today, really has some momentum offensively.
At their own 47, trips at the bottom of the screen, a sweeping play to Tootin. That one goes backwards, a loss of 3. And that almost negates the big run. Middle of the hashes now, ball at the 44. Hokies have to get to the Purdue 43. 17-0, 7:50 and rolling in the second quarter, Purdue on top. Wells in the gun. Hikes the hide, looks right, scans back to the left, steps up, guns it, wide open, Stephen Gosnell to 40, and he slips at the 35. He had so much daylight in front of him if he didn't fall down. Nonetheless, the turf monster wins there, and the Hokies are in Purdue field position. Ball at the 36, near hash. Hokies going fast, twins on either side of the line, Tootin is the back. Dropping back Wells, looking left, immediate slant pass to Daquan Felton, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, Hokies trying to go quick there. And yeah, Stephen Gosnell, to your point about the previous play, if he doesn't slip, he's probably at the 15-yard line at this point. And I don't know if he scores, but he's set himself up much more into the red zone for Virginia Tech, but nonetheless, first time the Turf Monster has gotten a hold of either of these two teams post-weather delay, and Virginia Tech will have to settle for the 36.
2nd and 10 at the Purdue 36, at the near hash. Motioning Jalen Lane from right to left. Another handoff to Malachi Thomas, follows some blockers, squirts through the hole and gets out to the 30. He had a lot of daylight, but he was caught from behind there by number 21, Sanusi Kane, catching him from below.
Sets up a 3rd and manageable. Good positive play for Virginia Tech, and you're right on the edge of field goal range, and you're trailing by 17, so you really, really want to find a way to convert here if you're the Hokies.
3rd down and 4, Thomas is the back. 4 wide out split. Shotgun snap, running to the right, pitching it out to Thomas. He makes a man miss at the 30, but he's caught at the line of scrimmage. They went to the near side of the field, and that was the short side of the field. They get nothing there. Derek Rogers Jr. was the one that finished that play off for the Boilermakers. And the Hokies offense stays on the field for 4th and 4.
What do you think? Right call?
Got to get momentum somehow if you're Virginia Tech. 6:18 to go in the second quarter. You're trailing by 17. You got to do something. Trips to the right for Grant Wells. He's got twins at the top of the field. Stands in the gun alone. Motions Tootin to his right hip. Takes the snap. Looks right. He's got Tootin in the flats at the 30, 25-20, 15-10. Makes a man miss at the 5. Reaching for the pylon. Did he score? He did. Touchdown, Virginia Tech Hokies. An unbelievable play on the zig route from Bashal Tootin, and he jukes and jives his way for 6 points. The Hokies are on the board and trail by 11.
Oh my gosh, Bashal Tootin. Physicality at its finest. Turns probably a 5-6 yard gain into a score from the 30-yard line. And just like that, Tech's on the board.
To put the ball through for Virginia Tech, John Love. Little snag up here on the snap. Refs step away. Love counts it out to make it a 10-point game in Blacksburg. Kick is up, and it is good. 17-7 here in Lane Stadium. Virginia Tech on the board on a beautiful out route for 30 yards to Bashal Tootin on 4th and 4. 5:54 to go in the second quarter. We'll step aside and see you on the other side of the break.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
a rejuvenated Lane Stadium as Bashal Tutin takes a toss out to the flats for 30 yards and a touchdown. Virginia Tech bringing the lead down to 10. It is now 17-7, and a 3-and-out, and then a great drive that was 67 yards down the field and took quite a bit of time off the clock. Has suddenly switched the momentum to Virginia Tech. Now their defense has to come on out and stop an offense that got their way in the first quarter pretty easily.
Yeah, and we were talking about it during the break, Nick. Virginia Tech, if they get a stop here now, and somehow they go down the field and score again, that's huge for the momentum for the Hokies. You're trailing 17-0, you score in a flash, and now it's up to the defense once again. Virginia Tech, considering the circumstances, is in a decent spot in this ball game, but they just got to come through from here on out.
To boot the ball deep for the Hokies, Kyle Lowe. Ball is teed up at the 45. Back to receive the kick for the Boilermakers, Tyrone Tracy Jr. and Dylan Downey. Lowe swings the golden slipper, end over end kick. No chance of a return. Lands in the back of the end zone for a touchback, and out comes the Boilermaker offense.
And I think it's hard to tell from up here, Nick, but I think maybe it has started to sprinkle again here in Blacksburg. It looks like it could at any given moment with the clouds in the sky. But I thought I just saw a couple raindrops right in front of us. So, that is something important to note as we continue to trudge on forward in this ball game.
17-7 is our score. 5:54 on the clock in the second quarter. Card in the gun. Trips at the bottom of the screen. One wide out to the right. Tracy Jr. is the back, dropping back Card, looks to pass, great protection, fires it out to the far sideline. It's bobbled and incomplete, broken up by Virginia Tech. Jalen Jones, the converted wide receiver, excellent coverage on one-on-one. D-Block won that play.
And again, he's got to grow up quickly. Converted wide receiver now in the secondary today with a couple injuries. This is somebody here in this situation who has been put to the test early on, and he's certainly come through.
Card in the gun, two backs on either side of his hip, two wideouts to his right. Pulling it out on a play action screen route. That goes nowhere, bouncing off a tackle. I take it back. Still cut down for the Boilermakers, number 2, Abdur Raham Yassin. He was caught behind the line of scrimmage, but slipped out of a tackle and gets a gain of 5 out to the 30. Brings up 3rd and 5 at the 30-yard line. They have to get to the 35.
But again, 3rd and 5. This place is going to come alive now. This is a must-stop if you're Virginia Tech. You score. If you get a 3-and-out here, oh my goodness, what wonders that could do for the Hokies' confidence.
Trips to the left of the O-line, one wide out to the right. Claire now in motion to the right side of the line. Shotgun snap for Card. Hokies bring 4. They get it out to Claire, and he is eliminated 1 yard short. Brings up 4th and 1 at the 34. Kelly Lawson blew up the tight end. He still caught it, but it'll be a yard short.
How about this? Purdue looks like they're leaving the offense out on the field. 4th and 1, and a 1 full yard is generous. It's about a half yard to go, and the Boilermakers are going to try and convert.
4th and 1, Card in the gun. Running backs on either side. It's Downing and Tracy Jr. Pulling it out, keeping it himself is Card. I don't think he got there. He did not. The Orange men stand strong on 4th down, and a momentum-changing play for the Hokies.
Nick, it's, as we let the crowd kind of take over there for a minute, it's so tough to comprehend why the Boilermakers went for that there. I get it, it's only a half yard. And maybe I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth based on what Virginia Tech decided not to do a minute ago. But gee whiz, you're at your 34-yard line, a 10-point lead. You need a full yard. And, you should be able to get it, but they don't. And it flips all the momentum back towards the side of Virginia Tech, I should say.
APR Antoine Powell-Ryland was in there to disrupt the play and hold the quarterback a yard short. Wells in the gun. Tutin, the man who took a pass to the house on the previous drive, is on the left hip. Twins at the top of the field. Shotgun snap for Wells. Looks left. Still looking left. Steps up into the pocket. Plenty of room. Dumps it off to Tootin at the 35. He's got blockers at the 30. Shuts a tackle at the 20 and is tripped up inside the red zone at the 19.
Well, we talk about the three big-time receivers for Virginia Tech. How about Bayshaw Tootin getting involved today? Back-to-back huge plays in the passing game for the Hokies.
That's a first down for Virginia Tech and into the red zone for the first time today.
How about that?
Virginia Tech scored from the Purdue 30 on the last drive. This is their first red zone trip. They're at the 19 at the near hash, 3:40 and rolling. Virginia Tech trailing Purdue 17-7. Bunched trio of receivers to the left of the O-line. Daquan Felton at the bottom of the screen. Shotgun snap for Wells, and we are going to have a false start. Sure enough, there it is, and that's the first false start of the game for the Hokies, and that's a flag that plagued them all last year and actually lost them a couple games a season ago.
First false start, I want to say, for Virginia Tech, not only today, but this season. I don't think they had one against Old Dominion last week in that 36-17 win, so it does happen, but that's a costly one. Backs it back up to the 24.
3:24 and rolling. It is now 1st and 15 from the 24. Twins at the top of the field, an island receiver at the bottom. Motioning Lofton from right to left. Wells in the gun, looks left, looks back right. It's a screen pass, and Wells smartly throws in the dirt. It was sniffed out immediately. 2nd and 15, back at the 24.
Yeah, that was a wise move by Grant Wells. You don't want to force anything here in this situation. You're comfortably, probably in field goal range. Obviously trying to pick up the first, but you don't want to stall any of this momentum.
2nd and 15 from the 24 after the false start. Jalen Lane from left to right. Play action pass. Wells steps up, fires it to Lane, and he just gunned it over his head. Wow. 3rd and 15. That had a vapor trail behind that football.
Well, we talked about one of the reasons Grant Wells potentially struggled last year was he didn't have a changeup, if you will. Certainly can utilize the fastball. Well, that one needed to be a changeup. Instead, it was 100 miles an hour. No shot for Jalen Lane to make the grab there.
Absolute laser beam goes astray. 3rd and 15 from the 24. Trips bunched close to the line of scrimmage on the left side of the line. Shotgun snap for Wells. Looks left, immediately pressured. Floating one up to the end zone and incomplete. He had Daquan Felton streaking to the end zone, but nonetheless brings up 4th down and 15. And that's a big stop for Purdue. Virginia Tech gets the 4th and 1 stop. Turnover on downs for Purdue's offense. Gets a big hitter right out of the gates. The false start sucks the life out of that drive, and now Virginia Tech will have to settle for a 41-yard field goal attempt.
Got to have this one here if you're Virginia Tech and John Love, who was perfect last week in the win over the Monarchs.
John Love from the near hash. Kick is up. It is good. Right down Broadway. 17-10 with 2:51 on the clock in the second quarter. Virginia Tech, who once trailed by 17-0, it now only trails 17-10. A successful drive for Virginia Tech as all is said and done with 2:51 on the clock. All 3 timeouts in the back pockets for either team will stay right here. Carter Hill, how big is those 3 points?
Oh, it's huge. You know, it's a big stop for Purdue defensively, but at the same time, the Boilermakers essentially gave the Hokies 3 points with the, decision to go for it on 4th and short. The Hokies do get a stop when they need it, and to their credit, they get the ball back offensively. Can't punch it in the end zone, but hey, they'll certainly take the 3 points. And Tech now, assuming they can get a stop here, has put themselves in a good position. But hey, with 2:51 to go, you still got, to your point, 3 timeouts left. You can easily get the ball back.
3 timeouts for either squad. Kyle Lowe teeing it up at his own 35. Tracy Jr. and Dylan Downing back to receive the kick. Both teams utilizing their 2 running backs as kick returners. Get the guys with the best vision on the field. Lowe trots up, swings his leg, end over end. No return set up at all. Kyle Lowe demonstrating the cannon of a leg that he has.
Kyle Lowe is a touchback machine. He was last year for the Hokies, and he gets to do it again this season. And I don't think he's had a kick this year that has not gone back for a touchback. So you know, it's good when you can pin an offense back like that at their own 25, and now the Hokies need another stop.
17-10 with 2:51 to go in the second quarter. Purdue once held a 17-0 lead. Virginia Tech with 10 unanswered points. Card in the gun at his own 25 at the near hash. Trips at the top of the field. Shotgun snap. Hand off to Maccabee. Gives a stiff arm, but goes nowhere except backwards. A loss of 4. Keyshawn Burgess not letting go as he got his 2 big mitts on him and dragged him down.
Yeah, lost 4 yards on the play. Huge shift for the Hokies. 2nd and 14 now for Purdue.
2nd and 14, trips at the bottom of the field at the far hash. At the 21. 2:20 and rolling here in the second quarter. Approaching halftime. Hokies show pressure. They don't bring it. It's a delayed blitz. Card flips it out. Claire wide open at his own 29. He fell down and took a knee. So it's a solid gain of about 8. Brings up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's a big play for Purdue. It brings up a 3rd and manageable for the Boilermakers, but still here, if you're Virginia Tech, if you get a stop in this situation, you're feeling nothing but great since the interception and the touchdown for Purdue.
1:48 and rolling. Card in the gun. 4 wideouts. All of them split by the O-line. Dylan Downing the backfield. Shotgun snap. Card dropping back. Card facing some pressure. Steps up into the pocket. Slung down at the line of scrimmage. Another great play by the Virginia Tech defensive line. C.J. McCray got his big old arms around him and ripped him down.
And Virginia
4th and 5 with 1:27 to go and a timeout for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, sorry, Nick, and that's a timeout well executed by Brent Pry. Still have 2 left. You're probably going to get the ball back at around, let's say, the Hokies' 30-yard line. That's plenty of time to go down the field and at least get 3 points.
I believe we're going to stay right here, just a 30-seconder. 1:29 on the clock. Virginia Tech trailing by 7. They have 2 timeouts. It'll be interesting to see what the Hokies try to do. Not many explosive plays at all a season ago. Last year they had over 5 plays that went over 20 yards. A very minimal amount of those a year ago.
2 punt returners now again for Virginia Tech. That's interesting. I mean, the Hokies, one of their strengths on this team is they have 2 of the top-tier punt returners likely in the ACC on this team, with both Jalen Lane coming from Middle Tennessee and then Tucker Holloway. Now, one of those guys has got to catch the ball this time to set the Hokies up with decent field position, but 2 potential playmakers on the field here for Tech.
Ansel, one of the rugby-style punters, as he rolls out to the right. Hokies load up that right side. 4th and 5. Ansel receives it, rolls out. No, just more of a traditional time this time. Ball end over end, received by Lane, and Lane is gobbled up at his own 30 immediately. That was a really good punt, and Ansel, who had rolled out to the right on his previous 2 punt attempts, just goes right down the seam, and a great punt that pins the Hokies at their own 30. Plenty of time for Virginia Tech to at least get into field goal range. 1:19 on the clock, 2 timeouts. Trips at the bottom of the field. Working left to right are Virginia Tech. No wideouts to the left of the offensive line. Tootin is the running back on the right hip of Wells, who stands in the gun. Receives the football. Surveys left. Flips it out. He's got Lane at the 35. Makes a man miss at the 40. Jukes his way down the sideline at the 50. And he is upended out of bounds at the 49. There are 2 flags back in the backfield. We'll wait to see what these are.
I think this is going to be roughing the passer, Nick. I think the Hokies are going to be set up at the Purdue 35-yard line.
And sure enough, so a great play, a great pass out to Jalen Lane, who is in motion from right to left. They tack on an extra 15 yards, and that's a detrimental penalty by Purdue.
And Virginia Tech all of a sudden knocking on the door of field goal range. It's almost like, Nick, at this point, time is not a problem. It's all about pacing yourself now at the 37, I should say, and trying to work your way to the end zone.
A 19-yard completion, tack on an extra 15 yards, or a total of 33 yards. We're going to blow the play dead.
Probably for targeting.
And I'm going to assume the previous play is under review for targeting. They didn't give us a specific inkling as to what the play call is, and there could be targeting. Everybody was looking at the quarterback, but Jalen Lane got popped at the out-of-bounds marker, and that's helmet to helmet.
Dylan Theineman, too, arguably the best player on Purdue's defensive side of the ball. 10 tackles last week in the loss to Fresno State. That's one of those where by letter of the law, I can see them call it targeting, but at the same time, I don't know if you can throw him out of the game for that.
I think the most annoying part about all these reviews is how long they take.
First one today, though. We had 6 last week against Old Dominion. And 3 successful targeting calls.
Like you said, Dylan Theineman, 10 tackles against the Bulldogs a week ago. Carmel, Indiana, true freshman in his second game, played for the Boilermakers. Like we were saying, everybody was worried about the roughing the passer call in the backfield. Nobody paid attention to Jalen Lane getting popped out of bounds. And Grant Wells utilizing his changeup there.
Yes,
that was a good.
There you go.
No zip on that ball at all.
98 miles an hour on the outer half. Yeah, no.
Perfectly led past the lane in the right over the middle, and here comes the call. No foul for targeting, and that was a 50-50 one, like you said. He didn't launch. He led with his arms. It just incidental contact with the helmet, but it does feel odd. There just feels like there's no rhyme or reason anymore for targeting calls.
Well, that would have put the Hokies at the 22. That would have been a second personal foul penalty.
Ball is laid to rest at the 37 at the far hash for Grant Wells and his crew. 1st and 10. Trips to the right for number 6. Stephen Gosnell on an island by himself on the left side of the field. At the far hash, here's the snap. Wells scans, fires. He's got a man at the 30. It's Lane who trips up out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Another first down for Virginia Tech, and all of a sudden, the wide receivers and offense have exploded here in the second quarter for Virginia Tech.
We'd love to see it if you're a Hokie fan. Back in the red zone again, or the Virginia Tech Hokies. And, again, Tech has plenty of time now, too, with 1:03 to go. 1:03 to go. Ball at the 24. 1st and 10 at the near hash. Hokies trying to punch it in again. Wells drops back. Purdue with the pressure, and they get home. There's their first sack of the game for the Boilermakers. In for the tackle, Isaiah Nichols, the D lineman, on the stunt play, and that's the first sack given up by the Virginia Tech offensive line. Well, and you're talking about time's not necessarily an issue. Well, no, it maybe still isn't, but at the same time, now you're down to 1 timeout, and more importantly, it's 2nd and 18 from the 32. So, you're to the point where you'd be happy if you get 3 if you're the Hokies, but just a devastating sack, and credit to Purdue on the other side of the things with Isaiah Nichols getting home in that play.
Officially a 2nd and 17. The ball will be placed at the 31-yard line at the near hash, and that's another false start-like play. On the previous drive where Virginia Tech drove down to about the 20 or the 19, they got a false start back to about the 24, and the drive just kind of fizzled out, and they had to settle for a field goal. They were at the 24-yard line there with all the momentum, and that's a big-time sack by the Boilermaker defense. It's a very disruptive defensive line as well. Trips to the left for Wells. Thomas is the back. Near hash. 2nd and 17, 58 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Hokies trying to punch it in, trailing by 7. 17-10 is our score. Shotgun snap. Wells rolls out to the left, looks to take off running. He's got it at the 30 and tiptoes out of bounds at the original line of scrimmage around the 24-25. Good game management play there by Grant Wells to pick up a solid gain of 7. Brings up around roughly 3rd and 10.
Yeah, you'll take that if you're Grant Wells. So will the Hokies. Sets up a 3rd and manageable, but at the same time gets you right back into field goal range.
49 seconds on the clock as well at the far hash. 3 wide outs in the formation. 2 at the bottom of the field. Now 2 to the right. Dropping back, Wells over the middle, wide open, rumbling down the big tight end all the way down to the 5. Daquan Wright all the way down for a Hokies first down and sets them up for a 1st and goal with 42 ticks to go in the half. What a 3rd down play.
1st and goal now for Tech. 35 seconds to go. The clock's running as well.
33 and rolling. Wells in the gun. Tootin is the back. Rolling out to the right immediately is Wells. He's got a man in the back of the end zone and just overthrew Stephen Gosnell. That was a tough throw to make, but overthrew him by a country mile. Brings up 24 seconds and 2nd and goal from the 5. Virginia Tech really wants to convert on this drive.
Well, now at the 5, you feel like you have to. 2nd and goal, 5 yards to go to score and potentially tie the game up. That's a huge play by Daquan Wright there. And, the play was there on that one with Stephen Gosnell, but just a little bit behind him and a little high as well.
Virginia Tech with 1 timeout in their pocket. Wells in the gun. Trips at the bottom of the field. Middle of the hashes. Shotgun snap for Wells. Looks, steps up, flips it out, and just throws it away. Incomplete. 3rd and goal from the 5. 19 seconds, time not a factor at all.
No.
You have 1 timeout, so you can get tackled in bounds if you want. You can use your timeout if you want.
Well, what do you do now here if you're Tech? I mean, it's to the point now where Purdue keeps you out of the end zone here. That's a massive victory going into halftime. But play looks wide open.
Bunch formation for the Hokies. Tootin is the back. Left to right is Lofton. Wells receives the football, drops back to pass, has to get rid of it. He's had Tootin in the flat, incomplete, but there is a late flag. It will be roughing the passer. Oh my goodness, another terrible decision by the defensive line for Purdue.
Well, that's insanity right there. I mean, that's probably a touchdown if Tootin makes the grab. Let's see if they're talking about it.
This might be picked up. It was a late hit at the end of the play. Got him right in the knees,
I think that's one you got to flag him on, though. You go
see.
Low on the quarterback?
This is a big call right here. This is either 4th and goal from the 5 or 1st and goal. Huge call there for Virginia Tech as the refs plant the ball at the 2.5-yard line. 1st and goal now. 15 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter.
It wasn't necessarily late, but you can't go low on the quarterback. They're going to flag that pretty much every single time.
Too many torn ACLs with hits like that. It wasn't malicious. It was not malicious. We want to say that. But you gotta throw the flag there. 1st and goal, middle of the hashes at the 2. Tootin is the back. Wells in the gun. Looks over the middle. Pressured, lobbing to the end zone. Lane reeled it in the back right corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. What was once a 17-0 lead is all of a sudden a 17-16 lead. What a beautiful ball from Grant Wells to Jalen Lane for their 2nd connection of the season.
How about that? I mean, this game is insane. All 7.5 hours of it has been incredible, and we're only about to reach halftime.
10 seconds to go. The extra point to tie the game by John Love. Kick is through, and we are knotted up. 17 unanswered points by the men in orange and maroon. Unbelievable.
Oh, gosh. I mean, 2 roughing the passer penalties killed Purdue on that drive, but Virginia Tech took advantage when they had to. They get down to the 5-yard line with the Daquan Wright reception, and then you punch it in there. Like you said, near far back corner of the end zone. Jalen Lane plays bigger than he is, I'll say that. 2nd touchdown of the year, and looks like we're going to go into the intermission all knotted up at 17.
Jalen Lane on his touchdown celebration flashed the number 0 with his hands, showing love to, I'm assuming, his fellow receiver, Ollie Jennings III, who went down in the first quarter before he went to our weather delay with an apparent ankle injury. Looked pretty bad as well. Good tribute there by Lane. And how about this? This game was out of hand, 17-0. Virginia Tech had no momentum at all. Grant Wells threw an interception at his own 21. 2 plays later, Purdue punched it in to go up 17-0. All of a sudden, Virginia Tech back-to-back 3-and-outs. A turnover on downs. How about this, Virginia Tech tying the ball game before the half. The first downs now were once at 11-3 count. It is now tied up at 11 apiece. Unbelievable. Kyle Lowe to swing the leg again. End over end. Back of the end zone. Rinse and repeat for the kicker. Here we go. Final 10 seconds of the game, of the half for Purdue.
And you're probably just going to see a kneel down here. Maybe a carry up the middle just to see what you can get. But 10 seconds to go. I wouldn't think the Boilermakers would want to risk it.
Yeah. Card stands in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers. 2 on his right side, 1 on his left. He's got Maccabee as his running back. Hokies bring only 3. Maccabee takes it up the middle, is wrapped up and chopped down. Jalen Stroman, great tackle there. And that is how we do it. A wacky, wet, wild, weird first half of play. Virginia Tech and Purdue are tied at 17. 7.5 hours into this ball game, we enter the half, all knotted up.
And it looks like too, Nick, not to cut you off, but we are going to have a brief 10-minute halftime. So halftime is consolidated to 10 minutes, not your typical 20 because of the weather delay. So a 10-minute halftime, and we'll be right back.
We'll step aside, collect our thoughts, and collect our stats, and when we come back, second half of play between Virginia Tech and Purdue here in Lane Stadium, located in the hills of Blacksburg, Virginia.
The first half of football is in the books. Stay tuned for the second half of action after this on 3304 Sports. You're listening to college football on 3304 Sports. For the second half action, we send you back up to the booth.
We welcome you back to beautiful Blacksburg, Virginia, here at Lane Stadium, where the Hokies and Purdue knotted up at 17 as we begin the second half of play. Nick Brown, Carter Hill on behalf of 3304 Sports. Thanks so much for joining us on your Saturday evening here from Blacksburg. And Nick, oh my goodness, what a first half. 17 unanswered after 7.5 hours for Virginia Tech to tie this ball game up.
I was thinking once Purdue took a 17-0 lead, all right, Virginia Tech, maybe they can score once here in the second quarter, regroup, and then really mount the comeback in the second half. But they did the entire entire comeback in that second quarter of play. And who would have thought this noon kickoff would turn into a night game here in Blacksburg? And that doesn't spell a lot of help to the opposing teams.
Well, Virginia Tech won the toss. They chose to defer to the second half, so Ben Freehill back to kick it off once again. The transfer from Oklahoma State. Bayshawn Sutton and Malachi Thomas are back to receive.
An interesting update with quarterback Grant Wells on the other side of this kickoff.
Freehill swings the right leg and sends it through the back of the end zone for a touchback as the Hokies will start at their own 25.
Grant Wells, it'll be interesting to see his condition when he runs onto the field. Only 10 minutes at halftime, but he limped off the field apparently into the locker room after taking that low hit that set up the touchdown.
Seems to be walking gingerly back out there now as he takes over as the Hokies starting signal caller for the second half of play. No Ollie Jennings the rest of the way as well. 3 receivers to the right. Bayshawn Sutton at his right hip. Wells with the clap of the hands fakes the snap, gives it off to Thomas now, who plows forward around the 32-yard line. Should say the 27-yard line as he picks up 2 yards on the play. And it brings up a second down and 8 for Virginia Tech. Elijah Cannion on the tackle for the Boilermakers. 14:43 remaining as the Hokies move right to left on your radio dial. Wells in the gun, 2 receivers right. Felton goes in motion towards his left hip. Wells takes the snap, drops back, plenty of time, fires towards the middle of the field. It's behind Daquan Felton, and it's intercepted. Dylan Theineman had it in the air. He makes the interception, and Grant Wells is picked off for the second time today as the Boilermakers are set up in Virginia Tech territory.
Oh, and that's just such an unlucky play for Grant Wells. Right off the dome of Daquan Felton. Oh my goodness, literally off the helmet, and it bounced just right into the hands of lurking Theineman. Perfect bounce right there off the helmet. Wow. what an unlucky bounce. Great throw by Wells, just a tad behind, but if you hit your receiver in the head, that's typically a good throw.
So the Boilermakers set up shop, 1st and 10 at the Virginia Tech 40-yard line. Cardman copy of the end of the second half. This time, though, it favors the Boilermakers. Hudson Card, the transfer from Texas, in the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Takes the snap, gives it off to Devin Mockabee, who breaks the tackle at the 40, spins out of another one there at the 35, and is taken down at the 34-yard line. Picks up around 6 on the play, and Jalen Jones, the converted wide receiver, made the tackle on the other end.
Mockabee is a slicing back. Definitely their best running back today. Had the opening touchdown before we went to the weather delay.
2nd and 4 from the 34, Card in the gun. 4 receivers wide, takes the snap, gives to Mockabee. He's thrown down immediately in the backfield. Antoine Powell-Ryland got to him, and he takes him down for a loss of 2.
He is so explosive off the edge. Holy cow, the Virginia native coming back to his native state to play with the Hokies. He has been an overnight welcoming addition to Virginia Tech.
3rd down and 7. Hokies looking for a much-needed stop. 13:33 to play in quarter number 3. Hudson Card in the gun with Mockabee at his right hip. 4 receivers wide. Sheffield goes in motion. Snap back to Card. Drops back. Plenty of time. Fires towards the middle of the field. This ball is oversailed out of the hands of TJ Sheffield. It falls incomplete. And this will set up an interesting decision for the Boilermakers as they face a 4th down and 7 from the 37.
Yeah, it looks like that offense. Thought they were going to be on the field, but they're going to take a step off. And let's see, yes, the punt team is going to come out.
And likely a wise choice there for Purdue. As Ansel on to punt now for the Boilermakers, and it's just Tucker Holloway this time back to receive. You mentioned that first half, the rugby-style punter for the Purdue Boilermakers. Snap back to him, plenty of time, boots it away right to Holloway around the 7-yard line, who trudges away from it. It bounces at the 3 and will roll into the end zone for a touchback.
Oh my goodness.
No, they're going to say
they marked it at the 1.
They're going to say, and one
there
official is now saying a touchback, and that is the official confirmation.
I was about to say, this isn't the NFL where you can dive after the football and save it. Yeah,
no,
that one rolled a yard into the end zone. That was that was interesting.
So that sends us to our first media timeout of half number 2. Hokies have the football at their own 20-yard line, tied at 17 between Tech and Purdue with 13:09 to play. We'll step aside and come right back. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
13:09 to play in quarter number 3 here from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia, all tied up at 17 between the Virginia Tech Hokies and the Purdue Boilermakers. Nick Brown, Carter Hill, your eyes and ears today from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg as the Hokies take over at their own 20. Grant Wells in the shotgun base, Shaw Tootin at his left hip. He takes the snap, drops back, has plenty of time, fires over the middle of the field, and it's off the hands of Daquan Wright and falls incomplete. Trying to get it to him around the 35-yard line, just maybe a tad bit too high. It sets up a 2nd and 10 for Tech right off the bat.
Right now with 3 targets, 2 catches, 29 yards. He's having a productive afternoon. Lining up in the slot a lot today as well.
Wells in the gun, 4 receivers wide. Malachi Thomas at his right hip. 18 seconds on the play clock as the Hokies work right to left on your radio dial. 13:03 to play. Wells claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, looks right, throws right, down the far sideline, and it's oversailed over the head of Daquan Lofton. He had his defender beat by 5 steps right at midfield. It's a missed opportunity for the Hokies, and it sets up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, that's a touchdown all the way if he reels that ball in stride. Wells, excuse me, just couldn't hit that in stride.
So it sets up a 3rd and 10. As we continue to monitor Grant Wells. 3 receivers right. Malachi Thomas at his left hip. Wells claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, pressure comes, fires down the far sideline. This ball's caught by Daquan Wright. Shifts out of a tackle at the 30, bounces off another one at the 35, and falls out of bounds around the 40.
Another slant route over the middle. Just that cute little drag route right over that line of scrimmage. Virginia Tech exposing these defensive backs of Purdue, in which Fresno State torched AC a week ago.
Right back to work for the Hokies at their own 42. Wells in the gun, 3 receivers wide, takes the snap, hands it off to base Shaw Tootin, who plows forward at the 42, and he got absolutely nothing on that play as they stop him at the line of scrimmage, and it brings up a 2nd and 10 for Tech with 12:22 to play running clock.
Yeah, here's the thing. Virginia Tech only has 15 yards of rushing the football today. Not ideal at all for Virginia Tech, but they're throwing the ball exceptionally well, 190 passing yards.
Wells in the gun, 3 receivers wide. Base Shaw Tootin at his left hip. 12:04 to play. Wells takes the snap, drops back, rolls to the right, fires down the far sideline, and this one tittles incomplete as he tried to get it, I want to say, to Stephen Gosnow, right around the 50. And it sets up a 39 now for Tech as the Hokies try to make something happen. 11:57 remaining. All tied up at 17 between Purdue and Virginia Tech. Hokies at their own 43. Tootin at his right hip, 4 receivers wide. Wells claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, pressure comes, rolling to his left, and he's thrown down in the backfield. He was taken down at the 28. It's a loss of 15 on the play, and the Hokies will be forced to punt.
Well, still a little gimpy after taking a shot to the knees in the first half. Smart play to just give yourself up. You know, if you get the late hit, you get the late hit, but, you know, you don't want to take that hit at all. So smart play to give it up. You had nothing. Might as well just finish the drive off.
So Peter Moore back to punt. Marquise Wilson is back to receive as Moore stands at his own 15-yard line. Snap back. He swings the right leg. This one's sent end over end back to the 30-yard line where it will bounce at the 35, be scooped up at the 30. The ball may have come free, though Wilson and the Boilermakers immediately fall right back on it. And
look out.
Extracurriculars on the play.
Look out.
Pushing and shoving between the Hokies and Purdue, but no flag is tossed. And Purdue takes over at their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, a little scuffle action there. Both of these teams were, you know, pinned up in their own locker rooms for 5 hours. We felt pinned up, and we got to walk around the concourse today, but that was It must have been really stuffy in there for the locker rooms. A lot of pent-up aggression right there. Good to see some fight here. Big drive right here for Purdue. Done absolutely nothing. They had 11 first downs midway through the second quarter. Haven't had one since then.
Hokies have scored 17 unanswered. Hudson Card in the gun at his own 29. 3 receivers wide. Devin Mockabee at his left hip. Terry goes in motion. Claps the hands. Takes the snap. Fakes the give. Throws down the far sideline. This ball's caught by the tight end and is upended at the 27-yard line. Kelly Lawson and Jalen Stroman got to him as Claire is nudged out of bounds, and it brings up a 2nd and 12 for the Boilermakers at their own 27.
Yeah, Max Clare was targeted a lot and had a bunch of receiving yards in that first half. He's got 48 on the total. He had over 40 of those in the first half. Absolutely eliminated there by Stroman.
Dylan Downing in the backfield. Claire goes in motion. 3 receivers wide. Guard in the gun. Claps the hands. Takes the snap. Drops back. Plenty of time. Fires towards the middle of the field. This ball's caught by DJ Sheffield right at the 50 and is spun down immediately there. And check that, it was Dion Burks on the play that made the play at his own 45-yard line. It's a big-time pickup on 2nd down for Purdue.
What a
moves
throw.
the chains again.
What a sidearm throw by Card, middle of the field. That ball hung in there forever. Took a shot from Kelly Lawson. Showed guts right there. Big first down first since midway through the second quarter.
Guard in the gun. 3 receivers wide. Terry goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap, play action fake, airs it out deep down the left sideline. This ball is broken up by Jalen Jones.
Jalen Jones, I'll tell you what, converted wide receiver to safety. He has played a marvelous game all game long.
He tried to get into TJ Sheffield, and this has been Jalen Jones' breakout game as a member of the Hokies D. It's now 2nd and 10 for Purdue at their own 45. 9:50 to play in quarter number 3. All tied up at 17 between the Hokies and Purdue. Hudson Carter in the shotgun. 4 receivers wide. Dylan Downing at his left hip. There goes in motion. Claps the hands, takes the snap, fakes the give, rolls to his left, breaks the tackle at the 45, and falls forward to the 49. He picks up 4 on the play. As it looked like a couple of Hokies got there on that one. Mainly Antoine Powell-Ryland. And it sets up a massive 3rd and 6 for Purdue at their own 49.
4 tackles for Antoine Powell-Ryland today. How about that? 2 of them tackled for losses. Big 3rd down.
Darius Payne is in the ballgame for the first time today. Missed the first half due to targeting. Hudson Card in the shotgun. Burks goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap, airs it out deep down the left sideline. This ball's caught by Tyrone Terry, who's upended out of bounds at the 48. He does pick up around 3 yards, but Alan Tisdale ushers him out of bounds, and it sets up a 4th and 3 for the Boilermakers.
Oh, and they're going to punt this ball again. Wow.
Well, you know, if you're Ryan Walters, he's had a couple tough calls in this ball game. He opts to punt here, and likely the right move for Purdue.
Virginia Tech going with a punt safe here.
Hansel
Possible
back,
fake.
Hansel back to punt. Tucker Holloway will receive. He takes the snap and boots it end over end back towards the 15-yard line. Holloway signals for the fair catch and makes the grab around the 13. Well, that is where Virginia Tech will set up shop as we move into a media timeout. All tied at 17 between the Hokies and Purdue with 8:28 remaining in the half. We'll step aside, come right back. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
All tied up at 17 between Purdue and Virginia Tech here from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. Hokies are pinned back at their own 8-yard line to start the drive, but again, Nick, an opportunity to score here and get some momentum back.
Yeah, Grant Wells looks a little off right now with that foot or that, I guess, knee injury. It looked like he took that big shot to the knee on that 3rd and goal that set up the touchdown in the very next play. He doesn't look the same. He had a couple wide open targets here in the 3rd quarter, but hasn't been able to hit them. Still plenty of time, a ton of time in this game. 8:28 to go in the 3rd, man.
8:28 indeed. Hokies have scored 17 unanswered after trailing 17-zip, a 5.5-hour long weather delay, and that's where we currently stand. Grant Wells in the shotgun, 4 receivers wide. Daquan Wright goes in motion with Malachi Thomas at his right hip. He claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it off to Thomas, who breaks the tackle at the 15, still loose at the 17, and is tripped up there around the 18-yard line.
1 yard short of the line to gain.
Just short of the first down marker. It's 2nd and 1 from the 17-yard line. And the Hokies hustle to the line. 4 receivers wide for Grant Wells. Right in motion once again. Claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it off to Thomas, who's barreled forward. Picks up about 2 yards on the play. And that will move the chains. 1st and 10 for Virginia Tech at their own 19-yard line.
Don't need a lot of yards there. Virginia Tech, they don't run the ball very well these first two. They haven't run the ball well these first 2 games, but they've been able to muster at least 1 or 2 yards per carry. So when you get those short down and distance, they've been able to pick them up.
The clock continues to wind. Wells claps the hand, takes a snap, throws down the right sideline. This ball's caught out of the air. Benji Gosnell shifts out of a tackle at the 45 to the 45 of Purdue. Now down to the 40 where it's thrown down there. Stephen Gosnell makes the grab for Virginia Tech, and the Hokies just like that in Purdue territory.
Monstrous play right there for Stephen Gosnell.
Quickly to the line. Grant Wells in the shotgun. 4 receivers wide. Thomas at his left hip, claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, throws right, and it's tipped out of the hands of Stephen Gosnell. Flying in to make the hit was Marquise Wilson from Purdue. And it will slow down the Hokies' pace at 2nd down and 10 from the 41.
Tell you what, Grant Wells has only gone down for 2 sacks. 1 he wasn't even touched on, he just gave himself up. But he has been beaten up after some throws. Another big hit there. Purdue looking like they're going to bring a lot of pressure again here.
Grant Wells in the shotgun. 3 receivers wide. Tucker Holloway goes in motion, claps the hands, fakes the snap, will fake the option pitch, now will fall forward around the 40-yard line. Just picked up a yard on the play. And Grant Wells immediately is tackled on the other end by Mo Amamanode, the defensive lineman.
Yeah, that's 2 plays right there that, again, Virginia Tech gets to Purdue's side of the field and kind of stifles out. But they've hit a lot of big plays on 3rd and longs.
3rd down and 9 from the Purdue 40. Grant Wells in the shotgun. Four receivers wide. Right goes in motion once again. Wells claps the hands, takes the snap, plenty of time, has room now to run, doesn't take advantage and is going to be tripped up at the 40-yard line. The Boilermakers get to him once again as Kadron Jenkins flies in to make the hit on Wells, and the Hokies likely going to have to punt in this situation.
Yeah, that's a tough play right there. That's, I think, a lack of explosiveness by that right leg of Wells that he's been gimping about. Very frustrated with himself, slamming his helmet back at the sideline. He knows that he could have made that play if he was fully healthy, and of course the crowd's going to be frustrated, but like I said, that's just a gimpy leg right there giving up.
Peter Moore back to punt, with Marquise Wilson back to receive. He swings the right leg, sends Wilson back towards the 5-yard line where it will be down by Virginia Tech as Derek Canteen comes swarming in to pin him down there, and the Boilermakers will have to start off their next drive with the back towards the north end zone.
Yeah, that was Cole Beck. Swatted the ball down at the 4, and Derek Canteen hopped on it. Great punt. Peter Moore has looked very good. He had a very rough year last year, ironically, after 2 great first years with the Hokies. This year he's looked really, really good. Marvelous game today, pinning them deep within their own territory.
Oh, it sends us to another media timeout from Blacksburg. 5:28 to play, all tied up at 17 between the Hokies and Purdue. We'll step aside, come right back. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
The 2023 Virginia Tech football season is loaded with exciting matchups every weekend on 3304 Sports. Non-conference opponents like Purdue, Rutgers, and Marshall won't disappoint. In ACC play, the Hokies host Pitt, Wake Forest, NC State, and Syracuse, while taking road trips to Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, and Virginia. Week in and week out, we'll have all the play-by-play action right here on 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Do you love pregame shows like College Game Day, Sunday NFL Countdown, and Big Noon Kickoff? Boy, do we have the show for you. Tune into the 3304 Kickoff Show every Friday afternoon on the 3304 Sports YouTube channel. We talk all things Virginia Tech Hokies football all the time. Feature stories, panelist discussions, opponent analysis, and so much more. The 3304 Sports Kickoff Show, your pregame destination for college football, week in and week out.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
5:28 to go in quarter number 3 between Virginia Tech and Purdue, where the Hokies and Boilermakers are knotted up at 17, and Purdue is forced to start its drive at their own 5-yard line. Nick Brown, Carter Hill on behalf of 3304 Sports, high above Layton Stadium on level 7 at Worsham Field. Hudson Card in the gun. 3 receivers wide. Maccabee at his right hip. Claps the hands, takes a snap, gives it to Maccabee, who plows forward at the 10, and is spun down there by Josh Fuga. And a collection of Hokie defenders as well. Alan Tisdale also getting in there. Pick up a 5 on the play, and it brings up a 2nd and 5 for the Boilermakers.
Man, Maccabee is just such a bowling ball. They haven't utilized him actually a lot today. And I think that's kind of a mistake, as he has gashed the Hokies D when he gets the football.
At their own 10-yard line. 3 receivers wide. Maccabee at his right hip, claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it to Maccabee once again, bounces off a tackler down the near sideline and is spun down around the 18-yard line. He picks up 8 on the play. It's good for a first. And Purdue continues to move the ball, but we are going to get an injury timeout as Keyshawn Burgos seemed to go down on the play.
Yeah, seems in like a lot of pain there right now. Hopefully he's all right. That's a big two runs there by Maccabee. You know, pinned in your own 5, a lot of energy facing at you with the student section bearing down right on top of you. You immediately silence that crowd now with this injury too. That's ironically, going to help negate noise as well for Purdue, as you know, it's kind of a solemn area. We'll see here, Burgess. It's definitely a shoulder injury, holding that right arm a little odd. He'll head on over that injury tent.
He does trot off the field.
Could be a stinger. They're painful.
Well, and hopefully so. You know, Ali Jennings already on the offensive side of the ball has missed the rest of this game, and hopefully it's nothing too much more serious for Jennings and the Hokies. 1st and 10 for Purdue at their own 19-yard line. Hudson Card in the shotgun. Maccabee at his left hip, 3 receivers wide. Claps the hands, takes the snap, fakes the give, drops back, looking left, throws left, deep down the left sideline. The receivers open. It's Deion Burks who dives, and he can't make the grab. There is a flag down on the play, and it's likely in the offensive holding territory.
Yeah, he had, man, Burks had toasted everybody. Absolutely everybody.
Wow.
Ooh, a lot bigger than a holding.
Face mask on the offensive side of the ball. I believe it was on Jalen Grant, the right guard for the Boilermakers. And how about this, Nick?
Let's see here. Let's look. No, it's going to be Marcus Embo, the right tackle.
Wow, okay.
He just ran straight up karate chopped for the Hokies. Cole Nelson off the edge, just went straight to the face with that right arm. Interesting.
1st and 19. Half the distance to the goal at the 10. Card in the gun, claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it off to Maccabee, trying to get to the edge, shakes the tackler at the 10, now to the 15, and is upended at the 18-yard line. He got past Alan Tisdale before Kelly Lawson flew in there to make this stop. And right back to the initial line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 from the 19.
It's fine if you're Virginia Tech. Now it's just 2 downs right here to get off the field.
We submerge under 4 minutes to play. 5 receivers wide. Sheffield in motion. Card in the gun. Claps the hands. Takes the snap. Looks left. Throws left towards the middle of the field. This one's caught by the tight end Claire, who falls forward to around the 29-yard line. And that will give him a first down, Nick, as the Boilermakers continue to trot up the field.
Yeah, Max Claire just found his way in the middle of the field there again. He had a lot of success right there where the linebackers should be, and just found the hole in the zone defense. Slides right on past the markers.
Nobody has scored in this second half. Once again, 5 receivers wide for Hudson Card, who stands in the shotgun. 3:15 to go. Card claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, plenty of time, fires one deep down the left sideline. Wide open is Deion Burks, who made the grab at the 32-yard line. That is thrown down there. Jalen Jones made the stop. DJ Sheffield check that was the one who made the grab. Nonetheless, Purdue continues to race up the field. Hudson Card in the gun, 4 receivers wide, claps the hands, takes the snap, pressure comes, and they get to him in the backfield. Card is sacked for the 2nd time today. He loses 8 yards on the play as CJ McCray gets to him, and it sets up a 2nd and 18.
Yeah, Kelly Lawson got the initial hit. McCray crushes him. And that's a big-time sack for the Virginia Tech defense.
Big time indeed.
2nd sack of the game for the D.
2nd down and 18. Hudson Card is once again in the shotgun. We haven't seen anybody under center for the entirety of the ball game. Three receivers wide. Maccabee at the left hip. He claps the hands, takes the snap. He gives it off to Dylan Downing, who cuts towards the edge and is thrown down around the 40-yard line. Jalen Stroman, the hard-hitting brother of Greg Stroman, takes him down. A pickup of 3, and it's going to be 3rd and 15.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jalen Stroman is a heat-seeking missile when he comes downhill. Big hitter. 3rd down and 13. Long way to go for Purdue. Got to get to the 25 for the Boilermakers.
4 receivers wide. Downing in the backfield, standing at the right hip of Hudson Card, I should say. Card in the gun, claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, looking left. Pressure comes now. He rolls to his left. Pump fakes now to the 35-yard line. Is ushered out of bounds around the 33. Jalen Stroman drove him out of bounds. That's a pickup of about 5. And it's 4th and 8 for Purdue. And now if you're the Boilermakers, you probably kick the field goal.
Yeah, that would have been an ugly hit if Mr. Card didn't trickle out of bounds. Stroman was coming downhill, and like we alluded to earlier, he would have blown up Card. And this is going to be a 50-yard field goal attempt from the far hash.
Ben Freehill, transferred from Oklahoma State. And timeout called by the Boilermakers. I don't know if Purdue was necessarily set as Ryan Walters takes the timeout.
Freehill drilled the extra practice there from the 50-yard line. That's going to negate the made field goal. With 54 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, all tied up. Virginia Tech, well, the game started all Purdue. Virginia Tech answered with 17 points of their own, and since then, this 3rd quarter has been relatively boring on offense side of football.
Well, if you're Purdue, this is the right choice. You have a 4th and 8. Yeah, you can pick it up, but at the same time, with where you're at, on the field, and at the same time with both offenses not really being able to produce as of late, you certainly want to take the 3 points if you can.
This is
Freehill,
a big pressure kick for Freehill.
1 for 1 on the day.
Keep an eye out on Dorian Strong here on the edge of the football. He was inches from blocking a field goal against Old Dominion.
Here we go, 50-yard attempt. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and this one is no good. It sailed wide right. And the Boilermakers miss a primetime opportunity to go ahead.
It just kept drifting. Freehill missed a kick last week. This one just kept drifting, and at the last second took a hard right off the interstate. And just right of that goalpost.
Just barely had the distance as well. You thought there for a minute, Nick. Is it even going to get there?
It was a slow kick. It looked like it was in slow motion the entire time. I've never seen a kick like that before.
48 seconds to go in the 3rd period of play. Brent Wells in the gun with Bayshaw Tootin right behind him. Daewon Lofton goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap, give goes to Tootin, who is muscled down immediately at the 30-yard line. He loses 3 on the play. And it brings up a 2nd down and 13 after Nick Scorton made the hit.
Yeah, run game still non-existent, man. Only 13 rushing yards for Virginia Tech. They'll get one more play before the end of this 3rd quarter.
20 seconds to go. Brent Wells is in the gun. 4 receivers wide. Tootin at his left hip. Now he splits out. Wells, clap of the hands, takes the snap, drops back, throws down the near sideline. This ball's caught. Benji Gosnell this time falls forward around the 44-yard line. And the Hokies pick up the first that will likely send us to the 4th quarter. And it will. 000 on the clock. Both Stephen Gosnell and Benji Gosnell getting involved in the action as the 4s go in the air here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech and Purdue tied at 17 here from Lane Stadium. We'll step aside and come right back. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
Well, this is what you live for if you're a college football fan, Nick Brown. All tied up at 17, between Virginia Tech and Purdue. 15 minutes to go as we start the fourth period of play. We have remained scoreless in the second half. Purdue led 17-0. Virginia Tech strikes back for 17 of their own to tie the ball game up at 17. Since then, really not much has happened offensively.
Yeah, Virginia Tech scored on 3 consecutive drives to end the second quarter and closed it out with 10 seconds to go with a touchdown. Nobody really got closer than the 35-yard line in the entirety of that third quarter. A missed field goal by Ben Freehill that would have given Purdue the lead near the end of the third quarter was a big blow to that Purdue offense. Now Virginia Tech threatening again. They have the football at their own 44. This is a big, big drive. You want to set the tone in the fourth quarter, you punch it in right here.
1st and 10 for Virginia Tech at their own 44-yard line as we start the fourth period of play. Grant Wells, like always, is in the shotgun with 4 receivers wide, and the running back Bayshaw Sutton at his left hip. First trip to Lane Stadium for the Purdue Boilermakers. We thought it potentially may not technically happen, but here we are, all tied up at 17 with 15 minutes to go.
Certainly a memorable first appearance at Lane Stadium.
Grant Wells in the gun. Benji Gosnell goes in motion. Now shifting to the right hip is Bayshaw Sutton. Wells, clap of the hands, takes the snap, looks left, now will throw down the right sideline. Wide open is Daquan Felton, and it sails out of bounds. A tad bit short and behind him, and a flag is thrown at the line of scrimmage.
Yep, that's a big play right there. Bob Schick. I have no clue what he was doing there. After the play, he just dove at one of the defensive linemen's legs and smacked at his foot. And then the defensive lineman gave him an Oscar. He sold it very well, but that was a really bizarre play. Just a sequence of 5 seconds. I'm not really sure what I just witnessed.
Well, that is a killer.
It is.
If you're Virginia Tech. It's after the play, so it's 2nd and 25. From the 29 of the Hokies, 3 receivers wide. Right goes in motion. Sutton at the left hip. Wells in the gun, claps the hands, takes the snap, looks right, throws right, and it sails incomplete. Tried to get it to Daquan right at the 40. Threw it a little bit to his left.
It's been a tough second half for Grant Wells. Very tough second half, honestly.
Nick Scorton was in coverage, but that didn't necessarily preclude Wright from making the play. The throw was just off.
Wells 3 for 9 in the second half. That leg really giving him some troubles.
3 receivers left. Tootin to the right. Grant Wells on 3rd and 25. Claps the hands, takes the snap, pressure comes, throws over the middle of the field, tipped out of the air off the hands of Daewon Lofton. It harmlessly, luckily for Virginia Tech, falls incomplete, but the Hokies are going to have to punt.
Yeah, just an odd sequence right there, and another drive where Virginia Tech showed promise. Just ends in disappointment. Purdue the same way in the third quarter. It's all right, we get a couple first downs, move the ball down to about the 40 or the 50, and boom, something happens, whether it's a sack or a foul or a penalty or whatever it is.
Well, Peter Moore will punt once again for Virginia Tech. We've seen him a lot today. Wilson back to receive. Takes the snap, boots it away, end over end kick back to the 25. It sends Wilson back to the 20, makes the catch at the 15, shifts a couple tacklers there, and he's loose at the 25 before being wrapped up around the 26-yard line. A couple Hokies got in on that one.
Another great punt by Peter Moore. Cannot sing his praise enough tonight. He punted that from his own 15. It was caught on the fly at the 20. Completely flipping the field right there. Here we go, fourth quarter. Virginia Tech unsuccessful to start the fourth quarter with the football. Purdue's got their chance now. Well, nobody's grasped momentum in the second half.
Hudson Card is in the shotgun for the Purdue Boilermakers. 3 receivers split out wide. Maccabee at his right hip, claps the hands, takes the snap, fakes the give, throws down the right sideline. This ball is caught by Clare, who bounces off a tackle down the right sideline to the 35, and he's taken out there by a couple Hokie defenders as Cole Nelson got in there to make the play. And we'll see if he picked up the first down. He did not. It's 2nd and 2 at the 34-yard line.
Max Clare, 245, and runs like a deer. He's asking to come out for the play. Took a shot there, a couple shots.
Drew Biber checks in. Card in the gun. 3 receivers wide. Takes the snap, gives it off to Maccabee, who rushes forward at the 38, trips up there, and is taken down around the 39. Though he did pick up the first down, and the Purdue Boilermakers move the chains once again. 1st and 10 for Purdue. Card in the shotgun, 3 receivers wide. Maccabee at his left hip. Card claps the hands, takes the snap, looks right, has plenty of time, fires it down the right sideline, and this ball is dropped in and out of the hands of Clare once again. And in there to tip it away was Kelly Lawson.
Yeah, he had a chance of the pick, but went for the swat. Holy cow, that ball almost bounced actually into his breadbasket. Great swat away. He has been locked down on the slot today. They said he's a freak of nature.
Card in the gun. 3 receivers wide. Maccabee at his left hip. Claps the hands, takes the snap. Delayed give off to Maccabee, who shifts the tackler at the 40, bounces off another, still loose at the 42, and falls down at the 43. And Tyrone Tracy Jr. Check, that was the one who falls down there. Jalen Stroman makes the stop, and it sets up a massive 3rd and 5 for Purdue. Hudson Card is in the shotgun as Lane Stadium comes to life. Tyrone Tracy in the backfield, standing at the left hip of Card. 4 receivers wide. TJ Sheffield goes in motion. Card claps the hands, takes the snap, looks right, evades a tackler at the 40, cuts back at the 45, is loose at the 50, breaks a tackle at the 45, and is upended there by Keyshawn Burgos at the 44 as Purdue converts when it needs it most and picks up a first down.
How about this? Hudson Card, 27 yards rushing a week ago. He eclipses that today. The big run right there.
Hudson Card once again in the shotgun. 3 receivers wide. Maccabee at the left hip, claps the hands, takes the snap, gives off to Maccabee, who sheds a tackle at the 45-yard line before he's thrown down at the 41. A chance for the Hokies to take him down right at the line of scrimmage, but is eventually tossed down after Jaden Keller made the play.
Yeah, Maccabee, he's just so low to the ground, lower center of gravity. He just muscles his way through, and now he lines up out wide.
Hudson Card is all alone in the shotgun. To your point, 5 receivers wide. 11:45 to play at the Virginia Tech 40. Card claps the hands, takes the snap. Pressure comes, trying to evade him at the 45-yard line. Here comes Jalen Stroman, and he fires one into the turf.
Man, Jalen Stroman's just having one heck of a game. Gets the QB pressure there, forces the incomplete pass. Card all out of whack there. Hokies only 2 sacks today, but they've been so disruptive in the backfield.
If you were Purdue, you were in essentially no man's territory. Of course, you want to pick up the first. That's interesting to note should it reach 4th down. Hudson Card is in the gun. Maccabee at his left hip. 4 receivers wide. 11:31 to play. 6 on the play clock. Card claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it off to Maccabee, sheds a tackler at the 40, trying to get to the outside, and is spun down around the 36-yard line, though I think he got to the marker.
It's close.
After Alan Tisdale dragged him down, and they give him the first down.
That was mighty close. And outpaced. Great tackle by Tisdale. Just outpaced him by a step to get the first down.
They give him the 35-yard line as Purdue methodically down the field. Hudson Card is in the shotgun. 4 receivers wide. Clear the tight end, shifts to the left. Takes the snap, hands it off to Tracy, breaks the tackle at the 25, still loose at the 20, bounces off another at the 15, and is brought down at the 13-yard line. Boy, oh boy, Tyrone Tracy Jr. just continues to make things happen, and the Boilermakers are well set up to eventually take the lead.
Yeah, prior to that run, he had only had 2 carries for 26 yards, but 21 of those came off of a touchdown run.
Hudson Card once again in the shotgun. Tracy to his left, 3 receivers wide. Blair goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap, give goes to Terry, who breaks a tackle at the 10, tries to get to the outside, and is spun down right there. Jalen Stroman again, and it's 2nd and 7.
Out to the 10. That's only a 3-yard carry, but his previous run went for 22 to set him up deep in Virginia Tech's red zone.
Under 10 minutes to play in the final period of play. Here from Blacksburg. 9:50 to go, 2nd down and 7 from the Virginia Tech 10-yard line. Hudson Card, he's in the gun. Clear goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap, give goes to Maccabee, trying to get to the outside. It is upended momentarily at the 15, and Cole Nelson got to him at the 14. He just kept on going backwards, Nick, and Cole Nelson finally cleans up the mess at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, just kept trying to string it out to the sideline, and the Hokies just kept coming, kept making guys miss, but the orange jerseys just kept pouring it on, and he eventually ran out of steam.
Brings
3rd
up
and 11.
3rd down and 11 indeed from the Virginia Tech 14-yard line. Hudson Card barking out his commands to the offensive line. In the shotgun with 3 receivers split out. Maccabee at the left hip. Card with 5 on the play clock. Claps the hands, takes the snap, looks left, pump fakes, still loose, throws towards the middle of the field. It's caught by Maccabee, breaks the tackle at the 5, still going at the 2, and he's tossed out of bounds there.
Jalen Jones to finish him off, saved the touchdown, but gets enough for the first down.
So 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Purdue's trying to strike first in the 2nd half. We have remained scoreless over the last 22 minutes of play. And the Boilermakers just taking their time.
This has been a long, grueling drive.
Hudson Card in the gun. 3 receivers wide. Tight end Claire goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap, rolls to the left, has plenty of room, and sprints towards the end zone for the touchdown. Hudson Card does the job for the Purdue Boilermakers, and Purdue grabs the lead here with 8 minutes flat left to go here from Lane Stadium.
Yeah, that drive took 6.5 minutes off the time. 6.5 minutes. What a methodical drive. Started at their own 26-yard line. Punched it all the way in. Virginia Tech has to respond.
Ben Freehill on for the extra point. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is true. So it gives the Boilermakers a 7-point lead as Purdue leads it 24-17 with 8 minutes to go from Blacksburg. Step aside here on 3304 Sports. Hokies trying to mount a comeback. Nick Brown, Carter Hill coming right back from Lane Stadium on 3304 Sports.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
24-17, Purdue on top of Virginia Tech. 8 minutes even left to go here from Lane Stadium after Hudson Card, the starting quarterback for the Boilermakers, takes it in from 2 yards out to put up the first score of the second half. Nick Brown, Carter Hill on behalf of 3304 Sports, high above Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. Hokies seeking to go 2-0 for the third time in 4 seasons. And Nick, if you're Virginia Tech here too, you just got to mount a strong drive offensively.
Yeah, you strung together 3 excellent drives to end the second quarter, and since then it's been nothing. They entered the half with about 180 yards. Now they only have 256. Purdue's defense was good. Tech's defense was good in the second half up until that final drive, but eventually something's got to give, and Virginia Tech, they've got to do their own work now. Freehill
to kick. He swings the right leg and will power this one towards the front of the end zone where Bayshaw Tootin awaits and will take it out from the 5-yard line. Down the near sideline at the 20, to the 25, to 30. He's loose at the 35 and is slung down at the 37. How about that? You think, oh my gosh, what are you doing, Bayshaw? And then 37-yard return sets up the Hokies with 7:53 to go.
And got good blocks, put on a burst of speed. Was one broken tackle away from housing it. Good starting position for the Hokies. Here's 65 yards from 6.
They will spot it at the 35. Grant Wells in the shotgun, bunch formation with Bayshaw Tootin shifting to the right hip. Wells, clap of the hands, takes the snap, looks right, now towards the middle of the field. Pressure comes, evades momentarily to his right, throws down the near sideline, and he oversails the intended receiver. That was Jalen Lane around the 47. It falls incomplete, and it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, pressure off the edge by Jeffrey Mba. Best defensive lineman on the football team for the Boilermakers. Came off the edge, crunched Wells as he let go of the ball.
4 receivers wide. Malachi Thomas at the right hip. 7:46 to go. Daquan Wright shifts to the left. Wells, clap of the hands, takes the snap, gives it off to Thomas, who bounces off a tackle at the 35 and will be taken down in the backfield. Jaden Dixon-Veal, a JUCO transfer from the College of San Mateo, makes the tackle. And just like that, the Hokies at 3rd and 12 from the 33-yard line.
3rd and 12. This would be a huge play for Purdue. You score to go up 7 in the 4th. You get a 3 and out. How good would that feel?
Wells in the gun, 4 receivers wide, claps the hands, takes the snap, looks right, evades pressure, and is taken down in the backfield at the 20-yard line. Nick Scorton got to him off the edge. The blitz came, and a 3 and out for Tech when they needed it least.
And Wells is really banged up. He has not been right since the end of that second quarter.
It was the roughing the passer call, as Purdue not only is going to get the ball back, they're going to have dang good field position as well. Peter Moore will punt. TJ Sheffield is back to receive. And do have a whistle here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Clock's still ticking.
.6:15 to go. Moore receives the snap and will boot it away around the 30-yard line. It sends Sheffield back to the 25. He makes the grab there and is immediately brought down to the ground. It was Jalen Jones again. How about that, Mr. Brown? The converted wide receiver having the game of his life from a tackling standpoint.
Yeah, Cole Beck banged up there at the 25. That dude is the fastest guy in Lane Stadium. No question.
The pride of Blacksburg, Virginia.
Yeah, track star for Virginia Tech. Football star in high school, but a little banged up on that play.
Well, with 6:05 to go, we step aside from Lane Stadium. 24-17. Purdue on top, and Virginia Tech in desperate need of a stop defensively. We'll step aside, come right back. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
The 2023 Virginia Tech football season is loaded with exciting matchups every weekend on 3304 Sports. Non-conference opponents like Purdue, Rutgers, and Marshall won't disappoint. In ACC play, the Hokies host Pitt, Wake Forest, NC State, and Syracuse, while taking road trips to Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, and Virginia. Week in and week out, we'll have all the play-by-play action right here on 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Do you love pregame shows like College Game Day, Sunday NFL Countdown, and Big Noon Kickoff? Boy, do we have the show for you. Tune into the 3304 Kickoff Show every Friday afternoon on the 3304 Sports YouTube channel. We talk all things Virginia Tech Hokies football all the time. Feature stories, panelist discussions, opponent analysis, and so much more. The 3304 Sports Kickoff Show, your pregame destination for college football, week in and week out.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
6:05 to go. Left from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. 24-17. Purdue on top, and right back to work we go with Hudson Card at his own 30-yard line, and 3 receivers split out wide. He claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it off to Maccabee, who immediately trudges forward to around the 33-yard line. Let's give him around 3 on the play, and it's 2nd and 7 for the Boilermakers after Cole Nelson made the stop.
Big possession right here for both teams. Purdue coming out 5 wide on 2nd down and 7.
5 wide indeed, as Hudson Card is alone in the shotgun. 5:38 to play. Sheffield goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap, looks over the middle of the field, rolls to the right, has plenty of time, throws down the far sideline, and it's dropped by Dylan Maccabee. Right around the 38-yard line. It would have been a pickup of about 5 on the play. Instead, though, an incompletion, and it sets up the biggest 3rd down of the ball game. 3rd and 7 for Purdue.
That would have been a surefire 1st down if Maccabee had hung on. Hit him square in the hands, and he just dropped it. Just absolutely let it go.
Hudson Card and the Purdue Boilermakers looking to put this game away. They lead by 7. 3rd and 7 from the Boilermakers 33. Sheffield in motion. 4 receivers wide. Maccabee at the left hip. Card claps the hands, takes the snap. Pressure comes. He fires towards the middle of the field, and this ball's caught. Yassine breaks the tackle at the 45 to the 45 of Virginia Tech, and is tossed out of bounds at the 40. Like a slithery snake all the way to the 40-yard line, and Kelly Lawson shut them out of bounds.
That is a possible backbreaker right there. Missed tackle there by freshman Braylon Johnson. Like you said, Yassine all the way into Tech territory.
At the 41 of Virginia Tech. Card with 3 wide. Dylan Downing in the backfield. Now will slow it down and take his time. 4:50 to go from Blacksburg. 5 on the play clock. Card claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it to Downing, rushes right up the middle, and is taken down at the 36. So he gains 5 on the play. Josh Fuga got in there. And it's 2nd and 5 for Purdue.
Yeah, now if you're Virginia Tech, you're looking for a turnover. You need one bad.
Boilermakers work right to left. Slowing down the pace. 4 wide. Downing in the backfield at his left hip. Card in the gun will slow it down once again. And that's smart too.
Yeah, take your time. Let that clock tick away if you're Purdue.
Hudson Card with 10 seconds on the play clock. Transfer from Texas. He claps the hands, takes the snap, gives it off to Downey, who has a hole at the 35 and is loosened up down to the ground around the 33. Give him 3, and it's 3rd and 2 after Cole Nelson got in there once again. Same with Jalen Stroman.
Yeah, another big 3rd down right here. If it's an incomplete pass or a no gainer, you try the field goal. You don't want to give up a sack or a big a big loss.
Let's give them the 32. 3rd down and 1 for Purdue. 3:30 to go.
I'd be surprised if this was a pass.
Maccabee and Downing in the backfield. Snap back to Card, fakes the give. Pressure comes, and he's taken down around the 34. Derek Canteen got to him. And the Hokies make the stop.
Wow, that was the read option. Didn't feel the pressure off the edge. Blindside Canteen, and they're going to go for it here on 4th and 3.
Boy, oh boy. College football.
Yeah, right here, if Purdue doesn't get the 1st down, Virginia Tech probably only gets 1 more try.
Under 3 minutes to go. 2:47 to play, running clock. Card in the gun. 4 receivers wide. Maccabee at his right hip. 4th and 3. Card claps the hands, flag thrown, and that's going to be a false start. So now you got to punt.
Now you punt. That is massive. Stadium is about a 1/3 full here in Blacksburg, but the noise gets to them, and that is the biggest penalty of the day. We've had multiple late hits. We've had personal fouls, but that right there, what could have been the game, almost the game sealing for 4th down conversion, all of a sudden becomes a punt.
Jack Ansel will punt from the Virginia Tech 39. Tucker Holloway is back to receive at his own 8-yard line. Snap back to Ansel. Swings the right leg. It sends Holloway back, who signals for the fair catch at the 6 and makes the grab at the 8. So that's where the Hokies will set up shop. Let's give them the 9, and we will step aside for our final, likely, media timeout. 24-17, Purdue on top of Virginia Tech. We'll step aside, come right back. You're listening to College Football on 3304 Sports.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
This fall, 3304 Sports has partnered up with Tech Sideline. Established in 1996, Tech Sideline is the premier media outlet covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Many of our 3304 Sports broadcasters intern with TSL and produce student-led content, such as Triumph Spotlight, TSL Today, social media exclusives, and the Tech Sideline podcast. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
The Hokies are banged up, battered, and broken down from a health standpoint. And because of that, Tech turns to Kyron Drones, who will try to lead Tech to a 91-yard game-tying drive. Grant Wells is out of the ballgame, and Kyron Drones stands in the shotgun with 4 receivers wide and Bayshaw Tootin at his right hip. Nick Brown, Carter Hill alongside you here on behalf of 3304 Sports, high above Lane Stadium. Wells in the shotgun. Tootin shifts to the left. He claps his hands, takes the snap, drops back, fires towards the middle of the field. This ball's caught by Daquan Wright, who's loose at the 30, cuts back at the 35, tossed down at the 37. Welcome to the ballgame, Kyron Drones. And the Hokies move the ball right up the field.
Holy cow! What a strike over the middle, man.
Well, the Baylor transfer can throw it too. Wells in the shotgun, should say Drones in the shotgun, claps the hands, takes the snap, throws down the near sideline, and it's out of the hands of Daquan Wright, who is shoved out of bounds immediately.
Yeah, and Wright is down for the count on the sideline. He got absolutely pummeled out of bounds. Wow. I'm surprised there was no flag. He is not moving on the sideline at all.
We will certainly hope he is okay.
This is ugly. He's really down.
We are going to continue playing, though, here in Blacksburg. 4 receivers wide. Tootin at the right hip of Kyron Drones, the transfer from Baylor. Benji Gosnell goes in motion. Drones with 8 seconds on the timer. 2:04 to play. Claps the hands, takes the snap, looks right, throws right, down the near sideline, and this ball is caught by Tucker Holloway at the 46. A pickup of 11. And there's a first for Virginia Tech. Should say at the 41, as it's now 3rd and 4 for Virginia Tech as the Hokies try and convert. Grant Wells is out of the game. It's up to Kyron Drones. 1:58 to go. 4 receivers split out wide. Tootin at his right hip. He claps the hands, takes the snap, looks right, fires over the middle of the field. This ball is dropped, and there's no flag on the play. Check that, there it is. He tried to get it to Benji Gosnell. Dylan Theineman got in there, and it's going to be a pass interference on the Purdue Boilermakers. And also an update on the sideline, Daquan Wright has literally not moved.
Yeah, there's a really scary scene developing on the sideline. Daquan Wright, one of the leading receivers for the Hokies tonight, he's literally not moving on the sideline at all. Took a scary shot out of bounds. He has not moved.
1st and 10 from the 45. Kyron Drones in the gun, 4 receivers wide, claps the hands, takes the snap, has plenty of room, and rushes at the 45, across midfield at the 50, down the far sideline, and bumps the defender out of bounds at the 42. Right down the field goes Kyron Drones into Purdue territory. It's 1st and 10 with 1:45 to play.
Drones also mowed over the defender on that end of the play.
Drones in the gun, 4 receivers wide, claps the hands, takes the snap, looks left, throws left, down the near sideline, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of Tucker Holloway. And just like that, 2nd and 10, 1:35 to play.
Good news is on the sideline, they got Wright sitting up on his own. Still scary scene. How about Kyron Drones? We don't want to take away from this show he's put on here on this drive so far. 2nd and 10, 1:35. He can etch his name into Tech lore if he takes them all the way.
4 receivers split out wide. Tootin at his left hip. 1:35 to go. Kyron Drones is in the shotgun. Claps the hands, takes the snap, rolls right, fires down the right sideline. Wide open is Lofton, and it's sailed out of bounds.
That's a really tough throw to make there by Drones.
Pressure in the face as well.
2 down territory here for Virginia Tech. 3rd and 10. You don't need every single yard here, but it would certainly be good if you could.
What do you do here if you're Virginia Tech? It's Kyron Drones' ball game. 4 receivers wide, Malachi Thomas at his right hip. 15 on the timer. Drones in the shotgun. Hokies looking to tie this puppy up. 6 seconds on the play clock. Drones claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, pressure comes, fires down the near sideline, and that is way out of bounds. Tried to get it to Malachi Thomas, falls incomplete, and the Hokies are going to have to go.
Here we go, 4th and 10.
4th and 10, 1:23 to go. Hokies do have 3 timeouts.
Yeah, so
you really want to convert here.
Yep, this is the biggest play of the game.
What does Ryan Walters dial up here?
He's dialed up 3 great blitz packages on the previous 3 plays. All he needs is one more stop for his team.
Kyron Drones in the shotgun. 3 receivers wide. A whistle blown and a timeout called on the Purdue sideline. All right, Nick, now that we have a chance to discuss, we'll do it on the other side of this break as we have hit an official media timeout. 24-17, Hokies trail. 4th and 10 from the 42. It all comes down to this on 3304 Sports.
This year, 3304 Sports is attacking the 2023 football season with a brand new goal. Our mission is to cover all 12 Virginia Tech football games and an eventual bowl game to close the season. But we need your help. Please consider donating to our GoFundMe page, where your contributions will go towards covering travel costs for our student journalists this football season. From hotels to transportation, every little bit helps. Head to our social media pages and click the link to donate today.
Be sure to check out The Beat after tonight's ball game. Head over to the 3304 Sports website for in-depth written coverage of every snap. Our writers and editors work tirelessly to produce written content covering all things Virginia Tech athletics. Feature stories, game recaps, and so much more. All things, all sports, all the time. This is 3304 Sports.
3304 Sports has established itself as one of the elite student sports journalism outlets in the industry. Home to All-American broadcasters and award-winning writers, 3304 Sports is the spot for student coverage of Virginia Tech athletics. From live play-by-play broadcasting to beat writing, feature articles, studio shows, and more. Every touchdown, Every buzzer beater, every win, we're there. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
Hey sports fans, be sure to check out 3304 Sports on social media so you don't miss any of our awesome content. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 3304 Sports. From pre- and post-game stand-ups to links for articles and studio shows, the 3304 Sports social media team has you covered. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.
You're tuned into college football on 3304 Sports. Let's get back to the action.
It all comes down to this. 1 minute, 23 seconds left to play here from Lane Stadium. Purdue leads Virginia Tech 24-17. Nick Brown, Carter Hill, alongside you on behalf of the 3304 Sports, where the Hokies are looking to move to 2-0 for the third time in 3 years. You got to convert, though, here, Mr. Brown, on a 4th and 10.
Here we go. 4th and 10. Got to get to the Purdue 32-yard line. Drones has proved himself this drive, but this is a big play. Probably the biggest of his career in college so far.
Played in 5 games a season ago as a member of the Baylor Bears. Transfers to Virginia Tech. Is in for Grant Wells. 4th down and 10 from the Purdue 42. 3 receivers wide. The Boilermakers faithful rises to its feet. Bayshaw Tootin at the left hip. 20 seconds on the play clock for Drones. He looks over to his right towards the Virginia Tech sideline. Drones with 14, claps the hands, takes the snap, drops back, pressure comes, fires deep down the left sideline. This ball is dropped and batted away right around the 5-yard line.
He had Steven Gosnell wide open in the middle of the field. 20/20 vision now. But that ball's underthrown, just a little bit underthrown for Felton. He had to step on the man. Now your defense, 3 timeouts, 1:16. It would quite literally take a miracle right now.
Well, if you, to your point, if you air it out just a little bit further into the reach of Felton, it could be a catch. Instead, he had to come back for the ball. It was in and out of his hands after Wilson batted it away. So Purdue takes over at their own 42, 1:16 to go. This game is not over, though. Virginia Tech has all 3 timeouts. Hudson Carter's in the shotgun. 3 receivers wide. Sheffield goes in motion, claps the hands, takes the snap. Give goes to Downing, who plows forward at the 45 and is muscled down right around there. Brent Pry, of course, will use his first timeout, as it's a gain of about 3 on the play, and it's 2nd down and 7 now for Purdue.
Yeah, Maccabee taking that carry for a gain of 3. If I'm Purdue, I'm utilizing him every play this drive. He has had an excellent game running the football, averaging 3.6 yards per carry. That is a first down in 3 plays. He gets 3 on that first play. If he gets 2 more, you got 4th and 1, and then you can go for it. So we'll see.
First of 3 remaining timeouts left for Virginia Tech. Now 2 with 1:10 to play. Again, the Hokies haven't taken down a Power 5 opponent in non-conference play since 2017. And haven't done so here in Lane Stadium since 2009, which is one of the bigger things that has to change under Brent Pry's realm. It doesn't look necessarily great here, though, as Purdue is a first down away from securing the victory here in Blacksburg on a game that started at 12:25 local time. It is currently almost 9 o'clock on the East Coast. 5.5 hour long weather delay. Hudson Card is in the shotgun. Maccabee at his left hip. 4 receivers wide. Claps the hands, takes the snap. Give goes to Maccabee, who breaks forward and bursts the tackler at the 45, down to the 40, and is ripped down at the 35.
That's it. Ryan Walters is going to pick up his first win as a head coach. What a big win. Coming into Lane Stadium. They survived a retaliation for Virginia Tech. They were up 17-0. Tech stormed back, tied the game at 17 apiece before halftime, and then all you needed was that 1 score, and they got it. What a call to run on the outside. All the Hokies pinching in, and nobody read it outside.
Virginia Tech does call its second timeout, though, to your point, Nick, not necessarily going to matter much so, as Purdue now just 2 kneel downs away, and with the timeout, if Brent Pry wants to use it, 3 kneel downs away from putting away Virginia Tech here in Blacksburg and escaping Lane Stadium with a 24-17 win. After the run on the edge by Maccabee, it's 1st and 10 for the Boilermakers at the Virginia Tech 35. Hudson Card is now in victory formation. Under center for the first time today. Takes the snap, there's the first kneel down as he falls at the 37. And Brent Pry is going to use his final timeout.
Might as well.
So 2nd and 12 for Purdue, and this one, Nick, in all likelihood, Virginia Tech was in a prime opportunity to win this game, and it's one of those games where you're reminded that there were still steps to be made for Brent Pry's program, I think.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that occurred throughout the game where, it wasn't Pry's fault. A lot of injuries. You lose your starting quarterback to injury. He wasn't himself all second half. You lose your top 3 wide receiver threats, Ollie Jennings, Jalen Lane, and Daquan Wright in the game. And it's been just like I said, a wacky game. You have a 5.5-hour break. That's no excuse. Purdue had to also sit through that, but at the end of the day, it was, Purdue took it away in the 4th quarter. Only 1 score in the second half. It was Purdue. Virginia Tech threatened many times, but couldn't finish off a drive.
Card under center takes the snap and execute the second kneel down at the 39. Some extracurriculars on the play, but no flag tossed. 3rd and 14 for Purdue, and now just a kneel down away from making it official as we wind under 40 seconds to go. Ryan Walters, Hudson Card, and the Purdue Boilermakers are going to get the job done here in Blacksburg. 5.5-hour-long weather delay, and they get the victory here from Lane Stadium. One more from Hudson Card, under center. Takes the snap, there's the kneel down, and that will do it. The Purdue Boilermakers, under first-year head coach Ryan Walters, get their first victory of the 2023 season, and they take down Virginia Tech 24-17 from inside Lane Stadium. That's a tough one for the Hokies, Mr. Brown.
It is. That looked very reminiscent of a year ago where Virginia Tech only scored their points in 1 quarter. That happened quite a bit a season ago. Happened again today. 17 points in the 2nd quarter. None in the 1st, none in the 3rd, none in the 4th. And honestly, they didn't even get the football within the 40 at all in the 2nd half. And that was the killer. Ryan Walters made some great adjustments. Also, doesn't hurt that starting quarterback Grant Wells was banged up and couldn't really throw well. It was a tough loss for the Hokies.
Only 7 points total in the 2nd half, and they belong to Hudson Card and the Purdue Boilermakers. 24-17, Purdue wins it over Virginia Tech from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. Injuries, missed opportunities, good defense, and a key score for Purdue certainly are the story tonight. Well, the Hokies return to action next weekend. They travel to Piscataway, New Jersey, face off against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights for the first time since Big East play in the great state of New Jersey. Myself and Kyle Marshak have the call. Meanwhile, Purdue, they return home to West Lafayette next Saturday to take on the Syracuse Orange, another ACC foe. Well, for Nick Brown, I'm Carter Hill saying so long from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. 24-17, Purdue on top of Virginia Tech. This has been a presentation of 3304 Sports.
This has been a presentation of college football on 3304 Sports. Be sure to follow us on social media to catch the post-game coverage. 3304 Sports, your home for collegiate sports coverage.